I should go without the church.
Mike.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
I didn't hear them. Hold on. I'm gonna tell y'all one thing. So they make a mistake asking a pastor to come and do these things, right? Because you know we're gonna say, "Come on, everybody, say good evening, everybody." Good evening. Let's praise the Lord, everybody. Amen. Amen. Let us look to the Father. Amen. Gracious Father God, we thank you right now. God, we thank you for life and liberty, God. And God, we thank you for freedom. God, we say thank you on tonight. We thank you for all the ones that are here. God, we thank you for the ones that's watching on social media. God, we just thank you for all the officials that are here. God, we ask that tonight will be peaceful. God, we ask that tonight will also be something that will be encouraging. God, we ask that this county will be uplifted, God, because there has been so much that has gone on. But God, we say right now, there will be a revival in this county, God, that will strengthen this place, God. We was once known as the Gateway City. So God, I ask if you will allow us to refresh and revisit and restore Vance County. In Jesus' name we pray. Somebody say amen. Amen. Amen.
Next up, public comments. When you come, please, and now, the name or the bill, we have 3 minutes. First on this will be Tim Price.
I decline.
Okay. Kelly Lee. Kelly Lee, yes, sir. Please say the name and the address, please.
My name is Kelly Lee. I'm a resident of
Can you put that mic down? I can't hear you.
Kelly Lee, a resident of Vance County, 98 West Mill Creek Lane, Henderson, North Carolina. And I know it's the beginning of the meeting, but for myself, I've heard a lot of information, and I know that we're looking at water restrictions and things from this area that use for the water system here. And I just pray that the court or this body looks at this seriously. And I know a lot of residents close to myself, you know, we try to talk with the Corps about issues that we have, and doesn't seem to get recognized. So hope that the court, I mean, as a body, that you guys look at this information open-minded and think of the residents of our area when, you know, this resource, that we use it wisely. Okay, thank you, guys.
Next is John Claiborne.
Hi, I'm a resident of Carolina Pines, which is right across the street from the proposed data center. I just need more information on, I just want more information on the facilities that's going to be there, the water that's going to be supplied, or different things that's going to be needed for, basically what I want to know is, how is it going to help us by having one right across the street? That's all.
Next is Ann Rivera.
Hello, it's Rivera. Just it's all good. First and foremost, I am a resident here of Henderson. I live off of Abbott Road, which is near Bear Pond Road. So right near the Imes factory, right behind it. I smell dog food when I wake up and when I go to sleep. So I'm very familiar with development in this place. I've spent a lot of my adolescence here. I grew up here. My high school and middle school no longer exists. Y'all know how I feel about it, right? So first and foremost, I am an educator. I do work in the state of North Carolina as an educator. So there are a few questions that I think a lot of us want answers to, but mainly I want to press upon the board and the committee and the people here today that I hope that we are well aware of how these centers affect communities, considering they've popped up over hundreds of towns in the nation. And I hope and press upon everybody here to make sure that you properly do your research and digging into the consequences of these things, because the communities that live near these centers and that once approved these things based on these big promises have now faced unforgivable types of emission and pollution in their neighborhoods, from noise to toxic water runoff to water depletion, which we're currently in a drought and have been in a drought all year. And on top of that, we have radiating heat that emits from these buildings. This can even drive property value down. And if there's any homeowner in this room, you do not want that to happen. You bought your home with the hope that it was an asset, not a liability. And when we start bringing in these big businesses to put up these useless centers, we start to threaten the livelihood of the working people in this community. I am one of them. Now, of course, it's not just the noise and the heat, but it's going to affect our water quality, our air quality, and our land quality. Soil will become sterile. We have a lot of farms in our county and the surrounding counties. This is not just about Vance County. This is about Warren County and Granville County. Other places will be affected by our decisions, especially our farms and our farmers. How can we help to protect them? Like many people in this room, I have more than one job and I work for the post office. I drive by these farms every day. I am very well aware of how they're impacted by these changes that we make in other parts of town. And I also want to beg and ask, what do we think about our children and our schools and our public buildings and all of these other things that are our home? Now, of course, we make arguments that big tech, right, is what we're trying to bring into our community. Data centers are not big tech. They are essentially storage units. It is AA storage on steroids. And by approving a data center, you're essentially just saying, yes, you can use this space to pollute our environment for the sake of storage capacity. Is that my time? Okay, thank y'all.
Next, we'll have an appointment, Frankie Noble, employee engagement team. I'm so sorry. Recognition of leadership Vance participant, I'm sorry.
Face them. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Uh-huh. You get up. Good evening, commissioners. Here I come again. This is class number 35 of Leadership Vance, and this is the largest class that I have led through and that I can find on the chamber notes. We have 19 in the class this year. I cannot go without saying that class number 1, which was actually 36 years ago, that Commissioner Hester's wife and Commissioner Kelly were in that class number 1. So they helped shape the program. We are ecstatic to come to you tonight to see local government in action, and boy, did we pick a great night. So we're expecting to see a lot out of this. I'd like the participants to please acknowledge themselves and tell you where they work. So we'll start with you, Haley. To them.
My name is Haley Rawls, and I work for Vance County Board of Elections.
Larry West, and I work for Vance County Soil and Water Conservation District as a resource conservation manager.
My name is Rhonda Long. I'm a practice manager for Mariah Care Health.
Lisa Holland, Business Service Manager, Part-Time Workforce Development.
Holly Garrett,
Vance Community College.
Good evening, everyone. Angie Ryan, Vance County Schools.
Hi, Mike Wellington, your ag agent, cooperative position.
Hello, everyone. Kitty Austin Somerville, Youth Field Director for Franklin Vance School.
Whitney Davis, Vance County Schools, CTE.
Sasha Devlin, Assistant Director of Family Memorial Library. Steve Hawkins, National Community.
Good evening, Cheyenne Clements, a member of DC 1691 Walmart Senior Leadership Team.
Hi, my name is Nicole Shine. I'm a counselor at Clearview Church.
Robert Bowen, Granville Vance Public Health.
And Renee Perry, County Manager.
This is a fun class. So we look forward to coming back to the county government next Tuesday and spending an entire day learning more about the government, talking with some of you and visiting the departments. Thank you, DeWanda, for setting that up for us. And we look forward to spending the day with you.
Madam Chair, can I say one thing? Sandra, I want to say this because I think all this whole board wants to say it. Thank you for the job that you do. And one reason you have the number of people is because of your leadership.
Well, thank you.
And I like to say as well, Sam, my son took them class, and he really speaks highly of you, so it is that great leadership. Thank you again. Thank you.
Can I say one thing also? Sandra always mentions that in terms of my being in the first class. But when the first class started, I along with David, what David called was extension agent here, and we got together and developed the program. I worked at Vance Grammar, had no idea that it would develop into this and everything. So it shows that the idea that we had in mind to teach young folks and people in the community about Vance County has paid off. And when something lasts that long, it's a good thing.
I had got their hopes up because I told them that they would be right behind public comment, and I was like, come on now. All right, so this month is special because it's a department head finally. And this is what the peers have to say about this department head. Teamwork. This person believes in going outside the department to help. She volunteered to help me on a project, and she knew I was pushed for time. She does what's needed to help all her staff as well as her colleagues. Initiative because in previous example, she came to me with the idea. I didn't ask or seek her out. Attendance because whatever is needed to get the work done, especially when deadlines are approaching, she is here working or takes work home. Even when attending off-site conferences, she takes her computer and continues to check in with staff, making sure they have what they need. Above and beyond. In addition to the example listed in number 1, she does what she can to help supervisors and department heads succeed. For those that are going through their first, we're going to skip that part. I think the person already knows anyway, but let me catch up on this a second. She sits with other department heads and works patiently, guiding them through the daily process. Let's put it that way. She recognizes special occasions, birthdays, etc., for staff and celebrates them at her personal expense. She donates personal items for employee events. How does this employee assist with providing services to the public, represents the county, responds timely and professional, and represents the county well? I'll have Ms. Perry come down.
I have a few words I want to say to you. So I'll be honest.
tonight is a special one for me. As we're preparing to present the audit, I couldn't think of a more appropriate time to recognize you as our Employee of the Month. When Stephanie stepped into this role, she didn't walk into anything easy. She walked into challenges which were really real. We had late audits, repeated findings, and a lot of work to do and to get to where we are today. And if we're being real, there were people who doubted whether this administration could turn things around. But Stephanie didn't focus on the noise. She focused on the work. Day in and day out, she has shown up, rolled up her sleeves, and done what has needed to be done, building structure, holding the line on accountability, and making sure we were doing things the right way. And now here we are. I'm gonna cry. What you're going to see in this audit, this progress that didn't just happen. That's the result of leadership, consistency, and a whole lot of hard work from Stephanie and her team. There's a scripture that says your work will speak for itself. And tonight it does. Stephanie, I want you to know that your work has not gone unnoticed. I appreciate you. This organization appreciates you, and this county is better because of you. On behalf of the Board of County Commissioners and the entire county, it is my honor to recognize you as Employee of the Month. And your family, so I'm gonna take a picture with your family when we take this.
Drop that.
You don't need that.
I'll take it.
Okay. And her family's gonna come up and take a picture with her.
That's wonderful that we're doing.
Yeah. Everybody tell you to turn around.
Congratulations, you deserve it.
Again, congratulations, Stephanie. You deserve it. Your sister might like this one. We thought it was your daughter because she looked just like it, but then we found out it was your sister. Again, thank you, Stephanie. Next, our next appointment is Thompson, Price, Scott, Adams and Company, the 2025-26 audit report presentation.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Which one? Okay, I see it. Is it? Thank you. Yep, good. Make sure it's working. It's working. All right, my name is Austin Eubanks, and I'm the audit manager at Thompson, Price, Scott, and Adams, and I had the pleasure of auditing Vance County for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2025. So we go through some required communications. Our responsibilities fall under the generally accepted auditing standards, government auditing standards, OMB uniform guidance, and the State Single Audit Implementation Act. So we were able to design and provide reasonable assurance that the financial statements are free of material error and in compliance with government regulations. We were also able to perform all our planned procedures and have complete access to both management and required information. There was some significant deficiencies in internal control this year, and I will discuss those a little bit later in the presentation. The new change in accounting policies this year, and it was a GASB 101. So every governmental in the United States had to change this policy. Is GASB 101, which is sick leave. So typically, your compensated absences would only include accrued vacation. However, going forward in 2025 and in to perpetuity, sick leave is also now a long-term liability. So management's judgments and accounting estimates were deemed reasonable, as they should be. So we did not have any significant audit adjustments or unrecorded differences. We did not have any disagreements with management, and we had no outside consultation with other accountants, and we had no prior retention issues. We did not encounter any significant difficulties, and we found no irregularities or illegal acts. So jumping straight into the numbers for the general fund, your total revenues, you collected $63,465,000. Your total expenditures for the general fund was $59,052,000, giving you a total revenues of over expenditures of $4.4 million. You did have some transfers and other financing uses of $703,573, giving you a total net change in your fund balance of a positive $3.7 million. So one of the metrics that LGC likes to utilize is a minimum undesignated fund balance, and it should be around 20% of your expenditures, and that'd be about $11.8 million. However, your unassigned fund balance as of June 30, 2025 was $31,429,000. So that puts your percentage, again, minimum threshold is 20%. Your threshold, your percentage was 51.72%. So about 250% above what that minimum threshold is. So well done. Your tax collection rate overall was 96.01%. So this is just a quick bar graph showing you the past 4 years, and each and every year you're doing a really good job of keeping your revenues over your expenditures. And as you can see, as of course with the ever growing rising of your expenditures, your revenues is continuing to grow as well. So looking at your revenues, this is top 5 revenues where you're operating. Ad valorem taxes made up 53% of your total general fund revenues. You collected $33,557,000. Your local option sales tax came in second place at 22%, and that was, you collected $13,722,000. Restricted intergovernmental, which is mainly your grant money, $9,031,000. And that made up 14%. Sales and services, $4.2 million, 7%. Investment earnings, right at $1.6 million. And all the revenues combined was $1,357,000. So let's look at your expenditures by department. Your public safety department, as every other county I see, made up the largest portion, and they made up 35%. You spent $20,564,000. Human Services Department, $13,334,000 was spent. Education Department, $11.5 million at 19%. General Government, $5.8 million was spent at 10%. Culture and Recreation, $3,599,000. All of their expenditures combined was $4.2 million, and that's mainly your debt service, interest and principal combined at $2.6 million, and your Economic and Physical Development Department at $1.5 million. So let's look at your fund balance for the general fund. And this is exactly what you want to see from year to year. It's continuing to grow. Not only is your total fund balance continuing to grow, but your unassigned fund balance is continuing to grow, and that's very important. So it went from $27 million in 2022 all the way up to $38 million in 2025. Of that $38 million, $31,429,000 is available to spend at your own discretion. $7,128,000 was committed or restricted. So this is going back to that metric that I mentioned earlier, the fund balance available as a percentage of general fund expenditures. Again, this kind of flows with the operating of the general fund. This is exactly what you want to see, continuing to grow at 44% in 2023, all the way up to 51.72%. Again, minimum threshold is at 20%. So basically what this metric means is if you was not to collect any more revenue, how long could you operate on a normal capacity, not limiting your expenditures at all? And it'd been 6 months. So 20% is about 2.5 months. So you're well above exactly where you want to be. So moving on from the general fund is your capital project fund. Your total revenues was 2.4 million. Your total expenditures for this fund was $59,449, giving you and you did have some other financing sources of transfers of $2,052,000, giving you a total net change of $297,330, bringing that net position up to 7.3 million. This is your Henderson Vance Industrial Park. Really no activity this year. Still sitting at $600,000. Your opioid settlement fund. Total revenues is $664,053. There was no expenditures this year, and your ending fund balance was $2,097,000. And this is all your non-major funds combined. Your total revenues of $4.5 million, expenditures of $3.3 million, giving you a total revenues over your expenditures of $1.1 million. You'd have some transfers from other funds of $762,000, bringing that total net change of $1.8 million, and your total fund balance ending was $11,069,000. So moving on to your proprietary funds, your water fund first was your operating revenues. You had $1,287,000 that was collected. Your operating expenditures of $1.7 million. However, you did have depreciation that is added in this number of $416,719, and that is a non-cash item. Giving you a total operating loss of $477,352. You'd have some non-operating revenues of $1.3 million. That's capital contributions of $1.6 million, and interest expense, which lowers that $1.6 million down to $282,000. You did also have some transfers in from other revenue, other funds of $2,055,000, bring you a total change in net position of $2,932,000. And your total.
Did you say the $477,000 loss was inclusive with depreciation?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
And you will see that is a FPIC finding that I'll go in a little bit more depth a little bit later. However, your net position ending was $7,579,000. Solid waste fund. You had operating revenues of $2,598,000. Operating expenditures of $2,655,000. Again, just like the other fund, there was depreciation of $43,000 that's included, bringing your total operating loss of $57,169. You did have some non-operating revenues of $151,000. You bring your total net change in this fund of $93,997, bringing that net position from $720,000 to $814,000. Look at the cash on hand. Of course, this is as of 6/30/2025. General fund, you did have some restricted cash of $64,000. Unrestricted cash was $37,341,000. Your capital project fund, $4.1 million was restricted, $7 million was unrestricted. The industrial park, $600,000 of all of that is restricted. Opioid settlement fund, right at $2,097,000 was restricted. Non-major funds, $7.4 million is restricted, and $2.5 million unrestricted. Your water fund, $515,000 restricted and $2 million unrestricted. Solid waste fund, right at $205,000 is unrestricted. So I did mention earlier that you did have some financial statement findings, and there are some internal control violations. So the very first one was the budget violation, and this is a non-compliance issue of significant deficiency. The condition was the expenditures exceeded the budget primarily in the following departments. The general fund department was debt service and other human service contributions, and you'd have a solid waste fund finding of well for landfill operating. And this is a repeat finding from the previous year. And the recommendation is the budget should be reviewed and appropriate amendments made during the year. So moving on to 2025-002, and this is a reconciliation of records. The criteria was taxes receivable was not reconciled to the general fund in an accurate manner, and cash was not reconciled in a timely manner. In reviewing the records and testing certain accounts balances, we noted that several accounts were not reconciled or adjusted in a timely manner, to include the reconciling of general subsidiary ledgers for the tax receivable and bank reconciliations. The errors in financial reporting could occur to not be detected and increase your fraud risk with delays in reconciliation of key accounts. Mainly, we broke this down for the cause of the entries. should be part of the year-end close, and they were overlooked this year. Finance should ensure that the balance sheet accounts were all reconciled to the subsidiary ledgers and that the year-end entries are made properly to reflect the balances of their subsidiary ledgers. And the adjustments of the balance sheet often leads to changes in the revenue and expenditure accounts. So basically, you rely on that information on a month-to-month basis. So you want to see those accurately represented to you each month. And this is also a repeat finding. And basically, the recommendation was the county should evaluate the allocation of internal resources dedicated to the financial reporting to ensure that adequate resources are available for timely reconciliations. Moving on to finding 2025-003, and this is the lack of controls in your tax department. The criteria was an inaccurate valuation of assets and computation of tax bills that could lead to a potential underpayment or overpayment of taxes and the lack of oversight of unpaid bills. The condition is reviewing records and testing certain tax accounts. We noted that several accounts were failing to validate information used in the valuation, and the properties were undervalued on the fair market value. The tax basically boils down to taxpayers were underbilled in certain conditions. Because the tax department has no secondary review or approval process. And no one on the staff had the correct training or experience to review the final billing before sending out to taxpayers to prevent incorrect billings or unnecessary financial penalties, and your unpaid tax bills notifications and delinquent accounts had not been properly reviewed. The recommendation, the county should update the tax valuation and internal control policy. The final bill should be reviewed and approved before sending out, and the county should review and monitor your delinquent accounts. Another lack of controls over billing, and this is pertaining to your building permits. Criteria was building permits rates were billed incorrectly, leading to a 100% of accounts were billed incorrectly. So basically in the system, the most updated billing sheet had not been updated in the computer, and so they were still using an old billing sheet. And the condition was the county were utilizing old building sheets in the software, and the county has undercharged bills in effect and has a loss out on the revenues. The cause, we boiled it down to the inadequate training of the software and lack of oversight. The recommendation was the county should obtain additional training with the software and evaluate the usefulness of the system and implement additional controls and sample the bills on a month-to-month basis. Finding 2025-005 is a lack of controls over cash transactions, and this is mainly the tax department, but it could be for any department that collects cash as well. The criteria is cash transactions were created and voided by the same person. The condition was a number of voided transactions processed without management approval. The potential misappropriation of cash revenues and inaccurate financial reporting. The cause is inadequate system restrictions and training as a lack of oversight of management. The recommendation was the county should obtain additional training with the software and implementation of the mandatory management signatures and daily reconciliation and void logs. And that's all the financial statement findings that we had. We did have some federal award findings. So moving on to 2025-006, and this is due to your Medicaid. And we audit my office, we audit about 7 or 8 counties, and we have across the board Medicaid findings, so don't be alarmed by these. And as an office overall, we probably audit about 32 counties over the state, and every one of our counties do have Medicaid findings. So just be aware of that. And this one's based on eligibility, and this is material weakness and material noncompliance. So the condition was there were 43 errors found during our testing procedures. So they were boiled down to 3 errors where resources were incorrectly calculated or were not properly documented in the file case. 12 errors where required information needed for eligibility determination were not requested or requested in a timely manner. 1 error where applicants and beneficiaries were not reviewed in timely and determined to be eligible for Medicaid, and their Social Security and benefits were terminated. 27 were the redeterminations of eligibility were not properly in accordance with the program requirements. The effect was this control deficiency increases the risk of improper Medicaid payments, potentially resulting in overpayments to ineligible beneficiaries or underpayments to those who qualify. And this is a repeat finding from the previous audit. And because the deficiencies reported above appear to originate in ineffective record keeping and case review process due to insufficient training of staff, adequate staffing, retention of experienced staff, and the lack of oversight of the county management. The recommendations we recommend that the management enhance internal controls, providing comprehensive training to the staff and the program's eligibility requirements and procedures outlined in the state's Medicaid manuals. And we see this across the board. There's so much turnover in Medicaid, and you see in the context, we reviewed 60 cases out of a total of 520,000 cases. So 520,000 cases, almost everybody's overwhelmed in that regard. Moving on to the 2025-007 significant deficiency, and this is dealing with the food and nutrition service cluster. There was 18 internal control errors that we noted were reviewed, and there were 7 cases lacking required signature to date certifying documentation. 9 cases of which were improper documentation was not provided to the client. 1 case of the clock tracking time limits for receiving was not engaged in the NC Fast system, and 1 case of incomplete or incorrect income verification. While there was an effective eligibility, there was no question cost, so you do not have to worry about paying any of that back. The identification, this is not a repeat finding, and the cause basically boiled down to ineffective record keeping and inefficient case review process, incomplete documentation, and incorrect application of the rules. And we recommend the file should be reviewed internally and ensure proper documentation is in place for eligibility. And there was an FBIC finding, of course, just like every other year for the past 3 or 4 years. You need to write a letter going over those financial statement findings. You don't have to worry about the federal award findings. And just say that you do agree to those findings and what you plan to do to mitigate those going forward.
Question.
Yes, sir.
On some of these findings, there was a place that said auditee qualified as low risk auditee, and the box was checked no. Can you explain that for?
Yes. So if you had a material weakness in the past, you're automatically in the past 3 years, you're automatically selected as a no. If in the past 3 years, if you have not been had a material weakness, then that's only when you're eligible to be non-low risk. So when you're a low risk auditee, then we only have to select 20% of the total federal awards and state awards. But since you're not a low risk and we're considered high risk because you had that material weakness in the past several years, we have to test 40% of your federal and state awards.
Does that contribute to us being on the unit assistance list?
Yes, you're most likely on the unit assistance list because you had material weaknesses in the past.
Okay, thank you.
In addition to, so these FBIC findings, you do have to write about these as well. And the only one that, besides the financial statement award findings, is the operating and net income. So for the water and sewer fund. So this is basically taking out your depreciation out of that fund, but you add back your debt service principal and interest payments, and you had showed a loss, basically a cash, putting it on a cash basis, and you had a loss of $605,898. So that's dealing with that. Then the budgets and the other financial statement of award findings that I talked about, you do need to write the letter within 60 days of this presentation, and have everybody on the board must sign it, the manager must sign it, and the finance officer must sign it as well.
And I just want to make the board aware, in 2027, I believe we have a payment of $2 million.
Yeah, it's a balloon payment coming up.
Balloon payment in the water fund. And so we're currently right at break even on the water fund. And so that's going to be a consideration that we're going to need to make in 2027. So just so you're aware of that.
So just to reiterate a little bit, you do have some financial statement findings and those federal award findings. Those federal award findings, we do see those on almost every single one of our counties. The financial statement findings, we've been discussing with Stephanie of how to go about getting rid of those going forward. And I think she's going to start implementing our requests. And so just to break down a little bit more on the governmental side, so you added to your fixed assets of $667,000, but you also adding in those assets, but you reduced your debt by $2.6 million as well. So definitely trending in the right direction, still showing more revenue in your expenditures for the general fund and the governmental funds overall. Proprietary funds, you added $4,026,000 to your fixed assets. Main majority of that is a project that you have going on. And you reduced your debt by $362,000 this year, but you did add a new debt of $1,672,000. So your proprietary funds is where I think the majority of your attention needs to be going forward, and reducing those internal control finance and just tightening up those finance, looking at your policies for every single one of your departments and going forward.
So most of the weaknesses was in departments.
Most of the finance that we saw was tax department,
Okay.
and of course the building permits, just utilizing the old, there was no real review. So I know y'all approved of a new building permits and all those rate changes, but those never made it to the system. So even though you approved it, nobody was being billed that.
Okay.
One question I've got. In relationship to other counties, how do we stand as far as not on percentages of fund balances, percentages of the total overspend?
For the general fund, I think you're right there with majority of my counties. I do have some counties that they like to hover around that low as possible, that 20%. But I'd have other counties that's just trying to get as much as possible for a rainy day fund because they've been decimated by COVID. They were decimated by natural disasters. So they've been through the hard times, and they say they want to try to get that percentage as high as possible.
So in essence, as far as our fund balance is concerned and having our obligations as far as in 2027, we're in the direction we need to be as far as making sure we pay our debts.
Yes, sir. I think the only one that you really need to be concerned with was the water fund, because even though you showed overall net change was positive, but your operating side really needs to be positive.
Now we got some more lines coming online as far as that's concerned, but as you can tell from our fund balance, we are working on the fact that we are looking at getting that in 2027. We've already started working on that now.
Right.
Thank you.
Renee, I wanted to ask, based on his findings for social service, where are we in adjusting that? What's?
So those findings were sent to the social services director, and so they're in the process of responding now.
Okay.
They haven't responded yet because the state requested, I think, an email. They sent us an email last week requesting responses, but we haven't received anything. So they're in the process of responding. But that's totally up to social services because they have their own separate board.
So what did that do to us as a board in terms of?
Oh, nothing necessarily. It's up to the DSS board and the DSS director.
Okay.
They did provide a corrective action plan that is in the full audit in the back, on the back page.
Okay.
Yeah, they just have to submit it to DHHS. They're still waiting for DHHS. Yeah.
How do we compare with other counties as far as our number of findings?
Overall, or just Medicaid, or you talking about the Medicaid findings, the 43 total findings? On the financial statement side, there were a little bit more this year, just because we went into a little more depth on the tax side. But I think those are really easy to mitigate going forward. The federal side, I think you're a little bit higher as well than most of our other ones that we've seen.
I mean, what the information I have is that Granville County had 2 findings, and Halifax had 0, Edgecombe had 2, and Person had 2. And those were areas, and that's why I was concerned because we showed it was 7, correct?
Yeah. So I will say we as a firm, we normally see about 7. We kind of ranges, to be honest with you. Really, really good counties that we audit are about 7. I mean, we normally always had 0 findings. Really should not be. I don't know who's auditing that county, but but 0 is almost impossible. I've never seen 0 coming from our firm, at least. And the 47 is a little on the higher end side. I would say anything over the 30, I would put those in the higher side.
Thank you.
Thank you, Stephanie, for a job well done. Thank you.
Thank you.
Need a motion to accept the audit. Need a motion to accept the audit report.
I'll make that motion to accept it. Is that what you need?
Yes.
No, you got it.
I got a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you again, Stephanie, for a job well done. Our next appointment is Tim Blackburn and Paul Ross, Triangle North Healthcare Foundation, YMCA. This can give us a workout.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Good evening.
Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for your service to our community. My name is Paul Ross. I'm here on behalf of the Henderson Family YMCA, Henderson Vance Healthcare, and Triangle North Healthcare Foundation. I give my apologies for Mr. Blackburn. He's had some recent family developments that necessitate his attendance, so he's not with me this evening. So the reason I come for you tonight is one, to give you a little update on where we are. Hopefully you've been down Ruin Creek Road lately and you've seen a significant change to the landscape there. DSS building is no more. There's a nice building pad there. Groundwork has been done. The new pool has been dug. They are currently laying plumbing for that system. Footings should be in for the new building within the next 2 weeks. And then we will see steel going up. It's a very exciting time for this project. I'll go through some of the things tonight. I would have brought you digital. We had an unfortunate email compromise, and we completely wiped out our tech voluntarily to secure it. And new computers were just given to us Friday. They're still being put into service, so I couldn't bring digital. Apologize. We're going to go a little old school tonight. So this is a $20+ million project. The funding side is growing, but we have a firm $20 million commitment from Henderson Vance Healthcare through Triangle North Healthcare to back this program. There was a $1 million donation from Dr. Vu and his wife that funded the purchase of the DSS building, for which, again, thank you for agreeing to sell that to us and making this project possible. What we are really excited about is this is going to be something this community hasn't seen. This is going to be top-notch health and wellness facilities for this community and our residents. And I'm really excited with all the people here supporting it. It's just amazing. I had no idea. The membership rolls should really swell when this thing opens up. So thank you. But one of the things that is really crucial for the community, the project is going to go forward regardless. But what I want to make you aware of is the necessity of funding to back this project from a lending standpoint. And here's why. There's roughly $50 million invested with Henderson Vance Healthcare that provides funding for the grant making that Triangle North Healthcare makes in the community. Anywhere from $850,000 to $1.010 million a year, Henderson Vance Healthcare makes in grants to nonprofits in this community that provides services over and above what city government, county government can afford to pay. Whether it's Boys and Girls Club, the Y, Lifeline Outreach Ministries, ACTS, multiple agencies that are meeting the needs of those who can't help themselves in this community. This is where the funding comes from, primarily from Triangle North Healthcare. If the $20 million is having to be taken out of that 50, then that reduces the revenue that money can generate and plow back into the community, put into operations for these nonprofits. They're fully committed to pay that money in cash if they have to. But if we can borrow the money, currently we're in negotiations with First National Bank. We're looking at rates somewhere around the 2.5% to 4.5% rate. The fund is generally generating approximately 7%. So 2.5% on $20 million every year is additional money that can be spent to support these nonprofits and what they do to support the community, the people in this community. I won't do the math for you. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money that will not be available to go into supporting these nonprofits if they just have to pay cash to support this project. They want the project because they believe the Y is the single entity in this community whose mission dovetails with the mission of Triangle North Healthcare around health and wellness in the community. It affects approximately right now 2,600 to 2,700 members a month, an additional 1,200 people who receive services that are not members through after school camp, summer day camp, swim lessons, silver sneakers. All of that is funded with these funds. If that dries up and goes away, it's just going to hurt all of us. And as one lender that we're also talking with, First Citizens Bank, it's allowing you to keep money that can keep working for the community. So we're in discussions with them as well. The big hang up, and what we're trying to pave the way from, remember your scriptures, trying to remove the rocks from the path, is the restriction that was put on the property when it was purchased by the Y that said it had to be used for Y purposes. Well, I can promise you, if we're going to put $20 million in this, you better believe it's going to be used for Y purposes in perpetuity. We're not going to put that kind of money in there and let it fail. It's going to work, and it's going to be a gorgeous thing. But the lenders, they want that restriction removed. In the event they had to foreclose, they don't want a first right of refusal to go back to the county. They want to be able to recruit their funding if that happens. Henderson Vance Healthcare is going to guarantee the loan, so it's not going to happen. But they're lawyers, and unfortunately, I speak that lawyer stuff. I know what they're talking about. They want a clean title. They want the property without restrictions, reversionary rights back to the county. That could potentially be accomplished through a release that basically subrogated to the bank, but the banks really would prefer just a clean title that they are put in a first lien position with. And so our request to the county is that you release those restrictions in favor of the Y for this project moving forward. I'll be happy to answer any questions about that. I've got some, and I'll have to just yell if that's okay. Madam, Miss County Manager?
Yes.
All right, let me yell.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
Basically, what we got is an aerial view. This is the existing building. This is the new structure that will be 2 stories, 38,000 square feet of new health and wellness for adults only. And then this strange looking thing back here is an outdoor pool that has a retractable dome that where we can open it up in good free weather in the summer, close it in the winter, it'll still be a year-round amenity. So a few renderings of kind of what the gym will look like. The building will have a 0.7, will be 7 laps around this track will be a mile. That'll be inside the building on the second floor, covering the circumference of the building. Copies of that, pictures of that. The first floor floor plan for the gym, member services, nursery, toddler care, membership services, a large group fitness studio, a smaller group fitness studio, female, male, and family locker rooms, to accommodate children.
Oh,
Yes.
if you could hold that and let the audience just see, you know.
Good deal.
Good deal.
Second story of the building, I just want to make it exceptionally nice, is the wellness floor with all the equipment, weights, all this stuff. And then it will be open end to end where you can see the whole width of the building. There will be some glass here, as you can see, but really a big, spacious, state-of-the-art facility for the community, right on the gateway where a lot of people come in and making their decisions to look at the businesses here. To move here, it's a huge economic development. Oh, sorry. Pool, our current pool it's great, but it's only 3 feet deep at each end, 5 feet in the middle. You can't do swim meets in it. It's too shallow to dive. You're just asking for a broken neck. And the amazing thing is, when it was first built, it was used for swimming. We only let the grace of God. It's still open. So this one will be regulation 25 meters, 8 lanes, 7 feet at the deep end, so there will be diving blocks, just like you see in the Olympic meets. And this will be a high school quality facility for swimming pools. Currently, all the high schools in Oxford, all the high schools in Vance, and a large percentage of Warren, who's trying to get a team together, and in parts of Franklin, are looking for places to hold swimming.
Oh,
yes.
The roof, is it a retractable roof on it?
Yes.
I think you need to cover that because it is.
And going there. I had it, it's like I had it queue up, but I did. So what we have is, this is, if you won't like, but this is really close to what it look like. It'll be plexiglass panels, and we're actually going to do the metal part in black because it will match the current window thing in the building or tied in aesthetically. But what you have is a full-size pool. You can open it up in the summertime when the weather's nice. It's just an outdoor pool with 2 nice shady areas at the end. When you're under those areas, 100% UV protection. You don't need sunscreen when you're in that area. But then when you close it, it can make it year-round. There's a pool like this in Cary. The Cary line is one in Highland that is part of their Parks and Recreation Program. We went and viewed them, issues they have with them, functionality of it, and basically they love it. It will maintain on a typical January day an ambient air temperature of about 70 degrees with no supplemental heat. It works like a greenhouse. The water is already 81, 82 degrees. With that and in the sun, you can maintain 70 even on freezing day. We'll put in some supplemental heat, natural gas heat, latent heat, that we'll be able to maintain an 80-degree temperature there, even in winter. So it will truly be a year-round facility because we know our seniors aren't going to go out in the pool where they got to get out when the air temperature is set. They want to get out at nice toasty 80. We thought about selling robes, terry cloth robes to them. We don't get much side here, but I don't know if we will do that or not. But it's amazing when you see one of these things. It's just so technologically advanced. And then this is just another rendering where you can see it both inside and outside with the open components.
Paul, with us having so many great people here tonight, or this afternoon in reference to the why. But wait, but in essence, I know you did. But what I'm saying is if any of these people have friends or if they want to come see the drawings or anything, can they come out to the Y that's there now and know, get information about what's going on?
Absolutely. There's always a display of part of these drawings up. All of the plans, all of the drawings are available at the Y. I also have them at the foundation, which is the Garnet Street Station building, right across from the fire station beside George's. These are our set that we use. So yeah, absolutely. We're available anytime.
And I don't know whether a lot of people know this or not, but the charter for the Y that we have here in Henderson is thanks to some people in the years and years past, you couldn't get that charter today.
Correct. Henderson would not be granted a YMCA charter today. We don't have the population to support it. We just don't. We don't have the businesses here. We don't have the residents with the disposable income. So it is supported by, on a large part, by donations from places like Triangle North Healthcare. It doesn't get any state, very little, if any state funding, it's for a particular program. Like there's a little bit now, like, I don't know, 70 a year for some teen mental health programming. But that's all the state federal money the Y receives. It's all through private donations.
The charter is Franklin County too, isn't it?
Part of, yes, Franklin, Granville, and Warren is the area we serve. Yes, sir.
Oh, show your first two pictures because it's a beautiful building to the audience. They didn't see it.
Oh, will that be available electronically at some point?
We can probably do that.
We could probably put it as a link on our website, maybe.
That's the exterior. The current building is this white brick building. What's there now? That's going to stay. That's all going to be youth services. We're not building out all offices in open. And so what's new is just almost entirely adult.
It's 48.
This week I managed to team, out of school, currently serving 80, 20 kids a day. We're hoping to grow over 200 a day when this is finished. This will be the front of the new building from a couple of perspectives. And this is just kind of showing the gymnasium and the entrance where you come in. As you can see, there's a walking track that's suspended above, but that was just in the end of the building. So on a cold day, instead of walking on the track outside, you've got 7 laps on that and you got them out.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
could our attorney tell us what we need to do as far as this is concerned?
Yes.
So this is the first time I've heard that they're asking for a removal. My understanding was this was going to be a subordination request. Am I incorrect in that, Paul?
No, yeah, we're asking for a complete removal of the restrictions.
Okay, so I would ask that no action be taken tonight. I need to look into that. I came prepared tonight to be in favor of a subordination request to subordinate to their deed of trust. If they're asking for a full removal, then I need to research that more.
Can that be done in the next month?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Any other questions I can answer?
I'm just excited about coming back. I pay my money, but maybe that'll bring me back.
Well, we love you. That's the kind of member, we love because they understand the good it does for everybody else. Very selfless of you.
I'm not.
Chairman Thames. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any more questions? Next, on the agenda is Sherry Moss, Director of Planning and Development, rezoning request for ZMA 26-001.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
So I'm here tonight to present to you, this is regards for rezoning requests. The purpose is to review and make recommendation regarding a zoning map amendment request for a 40-acre vacant parcel of property located off Highway 158 Business, which is a state-maintained roadway. The PIN number for this parcel is 0414-01005, and the rezoning request is from EIA to LI, which is Employment Institutional Area, to Light Industrial. The property owner is Patricia Galloway. The applicants are attorney Beth Trejos from Fox Rothschild LLP and Michael Natelli from Natelli Holdings LLC. The petition property is surrounded by light industrial zoning and is located within a rural designated area of Vance County, and the use classification is designated as industrial and warehousing, which is located within the adopted 2010 Vance County Future Land Use Map. In addition, the land use plan does state that a new area for certain types of industrial warehousing is located to the west of the city of Henderson, which is next to the West Vance Transitional Development Area, and that's also in your staff report if you see the area of the land use map. Not only there's water and sewer have been made available to this area, but plans are underway for which this new area was called the Triangle North Corporate Park within the area. Such a hub site could attract not only industrial and warehousing, but also several other businesses, which makes this area the most suitable for short and long-time mixed-use growth. As with any industrial development, close attention needs to be made to the visual traffic and impacts of such development. The surrounding zoning in the area includes light industrial, employment and institutional area, office institutional, and residential low density, which is also shown in your staff report. Also, recent rezoning requests from the EIA to LI. They were approved in December 2025 for 2 to 3 parcels down from this petition property off of US 158 Business. And also, you have in front of you an updated GIS map that shows where it has been revised on the GIS map. So before it may have been blue, now it's purple. Okay, according to the applicant's application, and this is verbatim, word for word, Exhibit A regarding the statement of justification, the applicant states, quote, "The Vance County Land Use Plan designates the subject property for industrial and warehousing areas. Industrial and warehousing areas are appropriate for industrial development such as is permitted in the requested LI district. The subject property is adjacent to properties that are zoned LI and to the north and west. Nearby properties with the same land use plan designation were recently rezoned from EIA to LI. Therefore, the requested rezoning of the subject properties would be more consistent with and complementary to surrounding area. Furthermore, the requested rezoning is supported by several of the principles and objectives outlined in the land use plan and remain consistent with those principles and objectives that include but are not limited to: mission statement, encourage continued economic development. Goal 2, which is from the comprehensive land use plan, to provide and maintain adequate county services and facilities that will accommodate economic development and growth and will protect the environment, public health, and general welfare. Also, with regards to goal 2, objective 2, to encourage sustainable economic growth and development. In addition, it's goal 4, to promote, expand, and diversify the economic base in Vance County to maximize the use of human resources while protecting important natural features and community values. And with regards to objective 4, objective 1, encourage industrial and commercial development to increase the tax base and job supply in the development communities or area. And also, we have within your staff report, you have the intent of the zoning districts. The EIA zoning district is established to provide suitable sites for concentration of non-retail employment and institutional uses and services such as medical, manufacturing, office, religious, educational, recreational, and governmental. So that's the existing zoning now. The proposed zoning, which is light industrial or LI, that's established where the principal land uses is for wholesale activities, industrial, research, warehousing, light manufacturing operations, and some institutional uses. And also in your packet, you have the dimensional criteria amongst the two zoning districts that shows both the EIA and the LI uses. I'm sorry, the setback information and minimum lot size requirements. All right, with regards to the general use map amendment process, so applications are processed in a legislative manner. They do not require sworn testimony or evidence, and decisions are based on the Vance County Board of Commissioners' determination that the project is consistent with the purpose and intent of the comprehensive plan and appropriate zoning regulations as embodied within the ordinance. The typical procedure for review includes 1, staff review and analysis. 2, the planning board reviews the application at a regular meeting and makes a recommendation to the Board of Commissioners. And 3, the Board of Commissioners receives the planning board recommendation and decides at a previously advertised legislative hearing.
Here, excuse me. Can
Yes.
you break that down so we can understand exactly? So what are you saying?
So tonight, the planning board made its recommendation
Mhm.
at the February 12th meeting. And so now the Board of Commissioners are to make its final decision
So
based
any-
off
and then-
recommendation.
and after that, anything after that, before anything, I just want to make sure I have understanding. We have to come back to the board for anything after we make the
No,
record. Okay.
no, because it's a whole separate process.
separate
The
process.
the
This
next
just
steps
with the
I list,
land.
I will speak on that
Okay.
when it's included within this.
Okay.
So, going along, so per section 11.3 of the zoning ordinance, the planning board or board of commissioners shall follow the policy guidelines for all zoning amendments. Proposed zoning amendment will not receive favorable recommendation unless A, the proposal will place all property similarly situated in the area in the same category or in appropriate complementary categories. There's convincing demonstration that all uses permitted under the proposed zone classification would be in the general public interest and not merely in the interest of an individual or small group. C, there's convincing demonstration that all uses permitted under proposed zoning classification would be appropriate in the area included in the proposed change. When a new zone designation is assigned, any use permitted in that zone is allowable. So as long as it meets zone requirements and not merely uses which applicants state that they intend to make of the property involved. D, there's convincing demonstration that the character of the neighborhood will not be materially or adversely affected by any use permitted in the proposed change. And E, the proposed change is in accord with the land use plan and sound planning principles. And also you, like I mentioned before, you have a comparison of the land uses between the EIA and the LI. And also, per applicable county policy and state law, the county is unable to impose conditions or establish limitations on development activities with a general use rezoning. Presuming rezoning to light industrial development will be consistent with applicable land use regulations as embodied within the ordinance. Staff recommendation: based on the analysis presented, staff recommends approval of the rezoning request from EIA to LI. The request is consistent with the adopted 1996 comprehensive plan with regards to goals 2 and 4, accommodating economic development and growth and expanding the economic tax base, and the 2010 future land use map with regards to the industrial and warehousing land use classification. The request is also reasonable and in the public interest as existing light industrial zoning surrounds the petition property. Planning board recommendation: the planning board reviewed this item at its February 12, 2026 regular meeting and voted unanimously to recommend approval, indicating that 1, the requested zoning map amendment is consistent with the adopted 1996 comprehensive plan and is supported by goals and objectives of the plan, including A, the plan establishes the following goals and objectives supporting the adoption of the proposed amendments with goals 2 and 4. that I mentioned earlier from the comp plan. And 2, determine the action is reasonable and in the public interest for the reasons. The board has determined the request is reasonable and in the public interest by promoting additional economic development activities within the county, allowing logical expansion of the light industrial zone proposed development activity use in the area, and will continue to promote a diverse economic tax base. So in conclusion, the Board of Commissioners' decision, having completed its review of the zoning map amendment recommended by planning board and staff, is to provide a brief statement whether or not the proposal is or is not consistent with the provisions of the land use plan, and also adopt a statement analyzing whether or not the proposal is or is not reasonable and in the public interest. And also in your packet, you have the attachments included. You have the rezoning application, the deed with meets and bounds description, the survey, table of permitted uses between the light industrial and employment and institutional area. You have the affidavit of service, which includes the certification of advertising of the legislative hearing. Also with that is the adjacent property owner listing, legislative hearing letter, photocopy of first class mail envelopes of the owner and adjacent property owners, photos of posted signage, legal notice to advertise in the dispatch, and you'll also, at the end, you have your statement of consistency and reasonableness. And so if this request is approved, it, first, it will, a recombination of the properties will have to be, it will have to be recombined. Also, you will the applicant or whoever, they will have to apply for zoning and building permits, also any other state approvals. And then it will still have to go before a technical review committee for plan review. And after that, because we will receive feedback from the different entities that's involved with the technical review committee. And following that, they will still have to go through the building inspections.
So you're giving the process before anybody puts something on the land? If we change it to a lighter, that's what I just wanted you.
No, I was adding this, so if this is approved, this is those
I'm
are the
talking about-
processes that they will still have to go through your
Okay.
zoning and building permits, yes. And we do have the applicant, before you open up the hearing, I just wanted to let you know, we do have the applicants present.
Is that Beth Troho? Beth?
They would need to speak on the public hearing. Go ahead and open the public hearing.
We got, okay. I'm gonna call for open up the public hearing.
Good evening, Madam Chair, and
And I want to make sure everyone in the public hearing is 3 minutes, because we have so many people who got 3 minutes.
yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Good evening. Sure. Good evening, Madam Chair and Commissioners. My name is Beth Trejos. I'm an attorney with Fox Rothschild, and I'm here today to request rezoning of this 40-acre property on Highway 158 to light industrial. And the purpose is to align it with the adjacent properties which have been rezoned light industrial as well. And this is just a zoning request. There's no development plan that's been submitted for your review at this time. You are to consider, all of the uses permitted within this district. The landowner is Patricia Galloway, and she was unable
closer
to
to the mic,
attend,
'cause-
but she did send a letter.
Speak closer to the mic.
I'm sorry, I'm trying to speak more clearly. The landowner is Patricia Galloway. She is not able to travel, but she did provide a letter that I would like to pass up with you, asking that her property be rezoned as her neighbors' properties were. As you heard from your planning director in a clear and thorough presentation, your comprehensive plan encourages economic development and expanding the tax base, and the proposed rezoning would accomplish those goals. Industrial and warehouse uses are recommended in this area, and light industrial zoning is consistent with your comprehensive plan recommendation. So the proposed rezoning is in compliance with your comp plan. The surrounding properties to the west and north of this site are already zoned to light industrial, and this is a logical expansion of the light industrial district in this area. The property is located between Interstate 85 and NC Highway 158, so it's a busy area intended for industrial uses. For these reasons, the proposed, excuse me, for these reasons, the rezoning request is reasonable and in the public interest. Your planning board,
Please let respect everyone speaking.
your planning board unanimously recommended approval of the rezoning. Your professional planning staff also recommended approval of the rezoning, and we would ask for your support tonight. And Madam Chair, if appropriate, we would like to reserve whatever remaining time we have for the end of the public comment so that we might provide any additional information as needed. Thank you.
The public hearing is open. You have, like I said, each person have 3 minutes to speak. If you would like to speak, please come to, if you would like to speak, please come to the podium. And please respect each person as they speak.
Good evening. I am Mitzi Parrott. Those of us gathered tonight are property owners, residents, taxpayers, and voters of Vance County. We are here tonight to oppose the rezoning of case ZMA 26-001 and to also voice our opposition to the 2 previous rezoning cases. Those 2 cases were requested to be rezoned exactly the same as this one is. The minutes from the meeting on November the 13th, it said that background information of the property with regards to owner and applicant were given. I did not read in the minutes where it was listed who the applicant was, but a quick internet search told me that they were developers of data centers. Actually, it says that Natelli Investments is a 3rd-generation real estate firm that shifted to data center projects 5 years ago and has built similar facilities from South Carolina to Maryland. The previous 2 zoning cases were actually, they were voted on unanimously. But after the first one was heard and it was voted on, when the second one came up, there was someone in that meeting on the zoning board that questioned. They wanted to know what the use was. And I'm quoting this. It says, the use of the parcels was questioned. Mrs. Moss responded that this is for rezoning purpose only and added permitted uses are allowed per table of permitted uses. Ms. Trejos added, one of the sort of unique features about the general use zoning category under North Carolina law is that you're required to consider all of the permitted uses. And her words, it is frowned upon legally to identify a particular use. But there's a desire to assemble these properties under common ownership and develop them in accordance. They want to assemble them all together and develop a data center. After someone opposed it, and she said that, sadly, the zoning commission said that they wanted to go ahead and ask for a motion, and the motion was received and a second, and it passed. Those 2 parcels passed. The same thing happened with the one we're talking about tonight. The exact same thing. It was passed. There was no questions asked. Or if they were not answered. So I have a problem with the lack of transparency, and I feel like that just about everybody else that's here tonight has that same question.
Hello again. I heard a lot of talk about economic development, and I would like to address that directly.
Please identify yourself.
Oh, my name is Ann Rivera from earlier. I am a resident of the community and of just around the way where factories are quite popular. There's been a lot of talk of economic development. It's difficult to grow an economy with a building that is only going to house servers. There's not going to be people and jobs occupying positions. There have been factories that have come to Henderson and to Vance County that have provided jobs. The glass plant, Walmart distribution, Food Line distribution, the Imes factory. There are many opportunities for manufacturing. This is not about manufacturing. This is about creating a place, an even ground place, in order to build a structure that is going to cause pollution that's going to surpass their barriers, like noise pollution and other types of emission. This is not just about rezoning. Rezoning is the simple answer, is the simple bottom line that they're trying to get you to focus on. The question is why are they choosing Vance County? Why are they deciding that this is the best place for them? This is one of the questions we need to ask. One of the things they listed in their application was how they basically want full rights to the property once it's rezoned in order to do essentially what they want to do without oversight, without recourse, without safeguards. They say they're going to protect the community, they're going to protect environmental health and community health. Where are the plans? She just said there are no plans. They don't have a plan. And I don't know about y'all, but I don't like to go into business with people that don't have plans. And so when it comes to this particular issue, we have to think about the consequences of that go to the residents that are in the area. If you drove through 158, which sounds like most of y'all do, you know well, full and well, that that is a lot of residential properties. And people live there. Children live there. They commute to Henderson, to Durham. They'll even cross over 96 to get to Raleigh. A lot of those areas are hardworking people. And when you allow for a rezoning measure that allows a big corporation, who is an outsider, mind you, it's not one of us. They don't have our intentions in mind. Investors have their intentions in mind. That's why they're called investors. They plan to get everything back that they promise you. And of course, they do promise these communities of greater infrastructure, like better roads, better power lines, better internet. This has yet to come to fruition in any of those communities. We don't get better power. We actually get more power outages. We don't get stronger internet. We actually get weaker internet connections. I worked in fiber optics. I am very well aware of how you can redirect resources based on the power lines that you run. I was part of a company that did military contracts. I am very well aware of how the power can be used here. We experience natural disasters like hurricanes and flooding. How are these issues going to be resolved with this?
Thank you.
My name's Ryan. I live about 6 miles from where this is proposed, so I'm pretty
Last
close.
name?
Allie. What I wanted to talk about is the infrasound. Y'all know what that is by chance? Sub 20 megahertz sound. It's not audible to us. However, it can shake houses. Data centers that have gone up, people experience everything from vertigo to seizures, anxiety, panic attacks. You name it. I could pull up the list. There's like 50 things people experience anytime they put these things next to a residential area. And I'm sure all these people here would not want to be experiencing those things because for the most part, if you live out here, you live in the country, you want some peace and quiet. You don't want a data center springing up. And it's the same story all across the country. I implore you all to go check out Ben Jordan and his video on how people are getting sick when these data centers go up. That's just what happens. That's all I got to say.
Hi, my name's Tyler Matthews. I live kind of in the Watkins area between Dorsey and Watkins Road. So my wife and I were 2 miles from this proposed area. And I mean, going behind some of the people that have already spoke today in regards to this, they've said so many things that I could not so eloquently portray to the board. But what I can say is everyone in this room knows that we, over the last 4 or 5 years, have been dealing with water issues, especially this year. And I'm not going to say that this year is the norm, but it's not the exception. So in looking at a potential data center, in particular, this Natelli project that was on the table in Apex, Natelli themselves said that it's going to use 300,000 gallons of water daily. So I just looked at Vance County. We've got 42,600-ish residents. 53% of those residents are rural, which means they are most likely on well. So if we narrow that down to, let's just say for round numbers, 20,000 residents on city water or county water, 10,000 residents use 1 million gallons of water daily. So currently, we are drawing roughly 2 million gallons of water out of Carr Lake daily. This week, the Army Corps of Engineers, I'm sorry, I think it was last week, the Army Corps of Engineers had a meeting in regards to allowing Franklin County access to water from Carr Lake. What they were requesting was 10,028 acre feet of water over the next 50 years. If you distill that down to daily use over the next 50 years, that is 130,000 gallons of water daily for Franklin County. The Army Corps of Engineers is involved in determining whether this is acceptable or not. If this data center goes in, and by all rights, the information that we've seen is it's 500,000 to 1 million gallons of water use daily. If this goes in and it goes in as Natelli stated in Apex, it will be more than double what Franklin County is requesting for people to consume, to live, not just for data centers. If we take Franklin County off the table completely, this data center, if it takes 1 million gallons per day, it will increase Vance County's water consumption from Carr Lake by 50%. This is I don't know about the other 3 parcels, but this is a 40-acre parcel that could take 50% of our current daily usage.
Thank you. Make sure you include, when you give your first and last name, please include your address as well. I'm sorry.
Sure.
I'm sorry.
My name is Kelly Wade Purdue, and I have an address of 257 Pine Ridge Road, Henderson, North Carolina.
Yes.
I have a property that is adjacent to where they're looking to put, to rezone. Good evening, Chairman, Commissioners, and members of our community. I'm Kelly Wade Purdue, and I'm here tonight as a concerned citizen and property owner who wants what's best for Vance County, both now and in the future. I've reviewed the staff report, and I understand the position that this rezoning aligns with the land use plan and supports the economic development. But this conversation is bigger than alignment. It's about priorities, policies, and protecting our community. This is not about being against growth. It's about making sure growth is handled responsibly. Projects like this, especially large-scale developments, such as a potential AI data center, impacts land use, infrastructure, and the overall character of a community. Because of that, policy must come before projects. Right now, there is an ask to make a decision that opens the door to a wide range of industrial uses, without the ability to place conditions once it's approved. This is not proactive planning. This is reactive decision-making. We need clear ordinances, guidelines in place first, standards that define where these developments belong, how surrounding properties are protected, and what expectations must be met for traffic, buffering, environmental impact, and long-term compatibility. I also want to highlight a critical concern: mixed zoning. In this very case, we have residential areas directly in front of light industrial zoning. That brings real impacts: noise, increased traffic, and uncertainty in established neighborhoods. And that directly affects quality of life, property values for the people who live here. In our current ordinances, if our current ordinances do not fully address that, then strengthening them should be a priority before any approvals are moved forward. And just as important, transparency. How are surrounding property owners being notified? Residents deserve clear, direct communication and meaningful opportunity to be a part of the conversations before decisions are made. Given the scale and long-term impacts of projects like this, I respectfully ask the board to consider implementing a 1-year waiting period on approvals. That time allows the county to put the right policies in place, addressing zoning concerns, and ensures the community is fully informed and involved. This is not about stopping the progress, it's about getting it right. Because once these decisions are made, they shape our county for decades. And we owe it to our residents to lead with policy, prioritize our people, protect quality of life, and get it right the first time. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Jillian Stone, and I was born and raised right here in Henderson. I grew up in a neighborhood right off of 158 Bypass, Stratford Hills, if you're familiar, and I can also provide my address if you need that. Yes, please. All right. That's 242 South Stratford Drive. That's where I was born and raised. That was my childhood home, where my parents still live, and is only a mere 3-minute drive from the proposed rezoning site, which brings many of us to this meeting today. For the early years of my life, Henderson was all I knew. The rolling hills, the small town, close-knit community, and all of the things that make this town and county what it is. I know this town and the people within it well, as many do you. So let's continue to think about the people of Vance County with our actions tonight. So I strongly urge you to reject this rezoning of the 40-acre land parcel that's in your citizens' backyards. The mission of the Vance County Board of Commissioners is to provide leadership and support for an effective county government that seeks to enhance the quality of life for all of its citizens. That is the mission statement, which is designed to guide you all as you make decisions for Vance County. So, as you make this decision, I implore you to reflect on those words and truly consider what choice that guides you to make. Now, I want to focus on that last passage of that mission statement. First, being enhancing quality of life, and not only for some, but all citizens. Allowing for a development company headquartered states away to rezone and benefit from our land does not seem like something that would endorse those aforementioned values. But I think that's something you already know, especially when you consider the potential that this has to burden our energy system, raising prices that are already too high for many individuals to pay. And making the choice between food and keeping the lights on should not be a choice that has to be made. But if you improve the rezone, the possibility becomes that much more likely for that choice to be made. There are many stories in the news now about individuals suffering from data centers being built in their communities. And I know you're aware of those stories. So I call on you to heed them as a warning, but not a blueprint of what Vance County should become. I call on you to vote against the rezoning of this property, and I call on you to acknowledge how it would hurt your community and the people within it. And I want to lastly call on you to remember that your responsibility is to Vance County and the people within this room, and not developers from Maryland. Thank you.
All right. Everybody hear me all right? All right. My name is Natalie Stone. Sound a little familiar because that's my younger sister. So I also grew up here in Henderson, North Carolina at 242 South Stratford Drive. Now I am finishing my senior year in computer engineering at NC State University. And data centers and AI, it's a pretty hot topic. I hear it just about every day. So when I heard about this, I was like, well, gotta get down to Henderson real quick, you know? So I have concerns about the power requirements of AI data centers and the accountability and transparency around the whole process. So I did some looking into the process. Carr Lake has an install capacity of 227 megawatts. The data center that was planned for Apex, that Apex said, you're not building that here. That was a 300 megawatt data center that they were planning for. And so that means that it would take more than all of Carr Lake's power generation requirements just in that. But this is only a 40-acre block of land, so if even you said half of that, that's still over 50%. So where's this power going to come from in the first place? You think about a megawatt, that might not, really make any real importance to anybody, but a megawatt is about how much power 800 houses takes to power the whole subdivision, 800 houses. And so if you had the smallest data center that we typically see, that's a 4,000 home subdivision with 50 megawatts. So imagine that coming in here, 4,000 homes, or 300 megawatts, which is what was planned for Apex, that would be 24,000 homes. So we're not building anywhere close to that, right? But this data center would take that. The reality is, those that will never know how much the data center will use, because the information will be protected by a non-disclosure agreement that will be signed between the city and the company. So right now we have no idea who is planning to build that data center, and we won't know really until they're already here. And because the energy used and the water used is considered confidential information by the company, we will never be able to ask how much is actually being used with any real transparency. So a data center promises that you'll be paying more for utilities with no accountability or chance for reconciliation. And so our elected officials will be incapable of serving Henderson and Vance County because they will be bound by a legal contract to Silicon Valley. And so I want to encourage everybody here to Google the words NDA city officials and data center builders, and you'll see how data center builders come in and try to usurp our methods for just creating a city that's good to live in, and doesn't have any issues with the power and the waters and the wells running dry. At the end of the day, the people in Apex told Intelli that they weren't going to build there, and they protected their water and their energy grid. And I think Henderson can show that same level of grit and determination.
Hi, my name is Ashley Lewis. My husband and I own a small farm in the Watkins community, 1800 Pine Ridge Road. My husband's family has been here for about 4 decades. We own a small business, and we take great pride in serving this community. We ask that you vote for the improvement of this community and not for its slow degradation. With the growing data center boom is a pattern of communities refusing massive infrastructure projects. The narrative being sold to you right now is that they will build a data center in this community, resulting in property tax revenue, some construction jobs, and we get to be part of the AI revolution, which sounds okay on the surface until you look at the details. Yes, the building pays taxes, but it's a building full of servers, not people. Servers don't shop locally or contribute to the economy. A data center might employ 50 to 100 people permanently, but these jobs are specialized tech roles outsourced, not from our community and not entry-level jobs for our residents. Construction jobs are temporary and likely outsourced as well. This isn't a factory employing thousands. That's an overview of what they are offering us, which doesn't seem like much at all. But now let's look at what they are taking. Data centers need water for cooling and electricity for processing, and in massive, scary amounts. In Georgia, some residents reported problems getting drinking water from their wells after a nearby data center was built. That's not a hypothetical impact. That's my well ran dry because the server farm built nearby. As a local resident, why would we trade reliable water access for AI infrastructure? What do we gain from that? Data centers also need constant, reliable power, 24/7, 365, and they simply cannot run on renewable energy alone. This means natural gas plants, i.e. fossil fuel infrastructure, because AI needs power now. If we are going to talk about climate change, this feels horribly irresponsible. Not to mention, residential energy prices rise when you add large industrial users competing for the same power supply. So as a homeowner, as I assume most of us here are, our electricity bill goes up and our water availability decreases. For what? For our community, there are better uses for land, water, and power. A data center is a terrible deal because what we actually need is jobs and economic opportunity. And lastly, what makes it worse is their blatant transparency problem. Why won't they disclose how much water and energy they'll actually use? Because it means you can't make an informed decision on whether to allow this project. Trust us, we'll be responsible is not at all a compelling pitch, especially if you won't disclose basic operational data. We ask that you do what's right for our community. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Paul Lewis. That was just my wife that spoke. We have the farm in Watkins community. This is obviously pertaining to the data center, right? Why have other communities denied their request? Why have other communities denied their request? Answer that to me, right? Have there been any environmental impact studies done on this issue? And if so, what are their findings? What are their findings? We know it's massive infrastructure strain, and we know there is zero community amenities coming behind this. Someone had already said this. Y'all's mission statement, literally quote, you say, seek to enhance the quality of life for all its citizens. Do you think you will be enhancing the quality of our lives by this decision? Do you? Just think on that. God bless you.
Good evening. My name is Trisha Alley. My husband, Brian Alley, spoke earlier. We are not residents of Vance County, but our children go to school in Vance County. And every single day, we take 158 to Vance Academy Road and drop our girls off there. And it's a beautiful, beautiful road. It's a beautiful drive every morning. But the reason we live in Oxford now is not by choice, technically by choice, but not by our choice. A few years ago, Person County decided to do something similar with their residents, but it wasn't a data center. It was the Mariah Energy Center, which is way worse. Natural gas facility that is ruining that area left and right. Don't do that to your residents. Don't do that to your children that go to school. Don't do that to your seniors. Don't do that to your land, to your water. Don't do it to your community. You have the power to stop this, to put an end to it. So we don't have to go through this again. And I say we, me and my husband, our kids. Every day, our daughters say to us, when do we get to go home? And I say, we're not. This is home now. Don't put that data center there. Don't approve it. Please don't approve it. It's not good. It's not good. It's not good for anybody. It's not even good for you guys. Just please think about what Person County did and don't make that same mistake. Thank you.
Good evening. Thank you for letting me speak. My name is Eddie Ferguson, and I live at 2495 Barker Road in Vance County. Thank you for the opportunity to speak in support of the rezoning of the Galloway parcel. For over 25 years, my partner and I have worked tirelessly with you, the county, to promote quality industrial development in this vital part of our county. This additional parcel rezoned as light industrial will further aid our efforts, making this property consistent with the surrounding areas. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is George Backer. I am a developer. I live at 1200 Pine Ridge Road in Henderson, actually, Watkins community. It amazes me talking to you people that you don't know what is being proposed. These data centers have classifications, class 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'll bet any one of you do not know what they're going to put up. Does anyone have an answer here? Is it class 1? Is it class 4? 158 is not suitable under new federal guidelines for trucks and traffic. If they bring in heavy equipment, you can't cross the double line, you're going to have fatalities. You can't go on the shoulder because you'll be stuck in mud. I was the first responder at 9/11. I've got 48 cancer operations all over my face, still more to come. I know what terrorism is. A data center is a prime object for a drone. And you can tell me, I'll make it real simple. Who in this room is in favor of the data center? Because I got bad eyes. Something's wrong. Nobody wants it because you're looking for trouble. And when they tell you taxes, you're going to get tax revenue, you'll be able to do this and do that. I got 5 businesses in 5 different states. I can tell you, I'm 84 years old. I've never seen a tax reduction. They don't do it. So you're swallowing a big fish, and not you. We're going to pay for it. Thank you.
Yes, I spoke earlier, and I wanted to know what benefits we would get from this. Just to let you know, like I said, I live in Carolina Pines. I look out my window and I see your hearing sign. That's the first I've been been told about. I mean, I think this is unfair to us in our neighborhood, and I say vote against it.
My name is Ben Lawrence, and I have for 40 years been blessed to live at 290 Wood Trail Way, Hunter's Ridge. I'm a half a mile from this proposed development. First of all, I want to say I am so humbled to follow what has been described as specific, clear, compelling, I would describe it as that, an eloquent presentation of the risk to our life and livelihood. I'm just a neighbor, a half a mile. Start reading, just read freely with the information that's available. You don't have to go to AI. You can actually get on the internet and dig it yourself. You don't have to go to the library. You don't need a card. Find out what the real results are as experienced by residents in communities with currently operating data centers. Check out Goliath in Memphis. Power requirements were mentioned. Gas. This man who just spoke, talk about being humble to come behind you. A 9/11 responder. None of us have had to go through that. And aside from that, you bring that experience to the rest of the time you've lived and worked, along with the experience of others here. I'm just hoping that somebody will pay attention and listen, because I heard one thing, I listened carefully. Yes, sir.
Excuse me, he's speaking.
Self-power for these plants. They're going to have to reduce their own electricity.
Right.
And that's going to be another problem.
Right. Well, that's where you get into gas production. I heard clearly one thing that got me, and that's the last thing I'm going to leave you with because everything's been stated very well, that I think we ought to focus on. The responsibility, as I understand it, if you read this, and you can correct me, please do if I'm wrong, is to the whole of the community, the good of the community. That's your job. I trust your dedication to that. Years of service I see here. And not the interests of one or a small group.
So I'm a teacher.
Pull your mic down.
I didn't come prepared to speak. I'm just going to speak from the heart. So
What's your name, sweet? Your
I'm
name?
Bobby LaQuire.
Address, thank you.
So I live at Huntstone, and I've been there 20 years, and it has been developed. Phase 3, they came in. I'm going to give you an example of what developers do. And actually, Tommy Hester's father was my landlord and he was amazing, at Pines Apartments, which is right on 158 business. So I'm going to give you an example of what developers have done to our home at Huntstone. So for phase 3 of Huntstone, developers came in, they cleared off tons of land, they burned it for at least a week or two, and so we had soot on our homes, and our air quality wasn't good. And since they've done this development, we have had police calls out there nonstop. And it used to be a quiet neighborhood when it was just phase 1. So just this past week, I had a community member that lives there joyride a dirt bike up and down all through my yard. And I have pictures of it. And so it really upsets me because we don't know what's going to happen when these developers come in. We don't know what they're going to do. I didn't want to speak because I'm not the kind of person to protest, but this is close to home. I want everybody to listen. This is going to be hard for us. It's going to affect us. These are our homes, our children. I'm just a teacher, but I teach kids. I teach people. I bring up all these people, to make educated decisions. And so please, please, please hear our plea. And I think I recognize a lot of people. I know Mr. Hester, but I'd like to get to know you, and I hope you have our best interests at heart when you make this decision, because it really is going to impact our community. Thank you.
My name is Saul Esparza. I live in Kittrell. And right now, I want to call out the people that are on their phones right now. Honestly, it's kind of disgusting because this data center won't help us at all. I have seen through and through data centers that have destroyed people's lives, farmers' lives, that had no positive outcome out of this. And you, sir, I've seen you on your phone and on your laptop when you should be listening to the people. I've seen you on your phone and you should be listening to people. Am I right? Yeah, but you should be listening to us, the people that are here. How many of us are against data centers? Raise your hand if you're against data centers right now. I want to see the people raise your hand and see if you're against data centers. And this is the people you should be listening to, right? Yes. And this is why I'm angry, because we have the data centers that are coming here are not coming from as the person before me said, their jobs are not coming from inside the city. They are coming from outside the state. These are not entry-level jobs. These are jobs that are coming from, let's say, from a different, like the person that's investing in this. They're coming from a different state. What have they have to do here in our city, in our state, and destroying our land, our fisheries? How many of us has fished in Carr Lake? Thank you.
Good evening. Thank you for allowing me to speak. My name is Margarita Velez. I am a resident of Henderson, North Carolina, and I am here to speak against the construction of the AI data center. And if you will allow me to speak, I feel like other people need to hear about this as well. So I will speak in Spanish. Buenas tardes, me llamo Margarita Velez. Yo estoy hablando en contra de la construcción de la inteligencia artificial en Kerr Lake. Yo quiero expresar la importancia de que es esas construcciones y cómo nos afecta como la comunidad. La inteligencia artificial jala demasiado agua. A lo mejor dentro de 2 años pueden haber ya no vamos a tener un hogar donde vivir por la falta de agua. Entonces yo necesito que la gente entienda de que hablen en contra de estas construcciones de inteligencia artificial en sus tierras, porque sus tierras van a convertirse como desierto. No va a haber granjas, no va a haber fruto, y lo que va a pasar es que nos vamos a tener que ir a otro lado. Entonces yo les estoy comunicando que por favor firmen la petición en contra de estas construcciones de inteligencia artificial, ya sea en el condado de Vance, Granville, Franklin, Warrenton y en otros lados de Carolina del Norte. Y si ustedes están presentes en otros estados, también les sugiero y les suplico que también firmen las peticiones para en contra de la inteligencia artificial. I will continue in English now. I am against this because, as other people's concern, it's going to affect the farmlands. It's going to affect nature as it is. What's going to happen is that we're going to end up relocating. We're going to end up having to evacuate our homes. Yes, maybe some people may see some profits in the first beginning of the years, but those profits is not going to last long. We're going to end up moving. We're going to end up having to leave. We need water to survive more than artificial intelligence. And at the end of the day, the community is going to end up having to pay for this. We're already seeing, a high electric bill, and our taxes are going up by the year.
3 minutes. Thank you.
So yes, I do express concern, and I'm very against this. And thank you for allowing me to speak again.
My name is Donnie Cruz, and I grew up at 95 Old Poplar Creek Road. And my family has 2 farms in the middle of an industrial park. And I've been working, I started with Benny Finch, and I've been working with y'all for over 25 years, maybe closer to 30 years. And our family's goal was to help create the industrial park to bring jobs and tax revenue to Vance County in the city of Henderson. And we have worked and worked. And with Eddie, it was 430 acres originally in the industrial park. But with this developer, it's not big enough. And this is why he's asking for the 40 acres to be rezoned. He needs a bigger economy of scale than what we originally had in the 430 acres. And so, again, it'll be probably 500 and some acres overall if the 40 acres gets approved. But that'll be a large tract of land with a lot of buffer, and very few is 85 on one side and 158 on the other side, and Ruin Creek and Poplar Creek Road. So it's a very, very large tract of land that, like I said, he needs the 40 acres to get the economy of scale to do his development. And, again, my whole premise of working with Vance County is to bring jobs and increase the tax base. And Vance County certainly needs the revenue, and it needs the revenue to improve the schools and everything else that needs money to be spent on. And so I'm here tonight in support of Natalie to ask you to approve the rezoning. Thank you.
Excuse me, please respect.
My name is Garland Askew, Carolina Pines subdivision. Earlier, we heard somebody talk about infrasound. That's one. There's another. It's a hum. Both of these sounds can travel, and most of what I've seen on the internet is at least 3 miles, some even up to 4.5 miles. Well, just thinking about that, what does that mean to us? 3,000 feet, about 0.6 of a mile, is considered the impact zone. That's where noise is loudest and most disruptive. This would include subdivisions, Carolina Pines, Hunters Ridge, Westwood Hills, and other homes in the area for an estimated total of about 100 or 110 in the immediate impact zone, or we may call it ground zero. You get out a mile, you pick up Mount Moriah Church, Watkins Campground, many homes on Pine Ridge Road, Horseshoe Bend. You get Redbud Missionary Baptist Church. You hit the Central Baptist Church, the Herman Community Church. Go another half a mile, at 1.5 miles, you're hitting many homes in Stratford Hills and the subdivision next to them. Vance Academy and the Senior Citizens Home on Ruin Creek and Little Paul's Learning Center. Get up to 2 miles. Now, many homes in the Watkins community and the Huntstone subdivision with 217 homes are fairly new. St. James Catholic Church, Vance Scramble Community College, and all of Stratford Hills and that nearby subdivision, plus many homes along Highway 58, Dabney Elementary School, and Henderson Country Club. Now, if you go to the 3 mile range and you think about what's between there and these places, Hardee's, Denny's, Crossroads Christian School, and everything in between, all of West Henderson. I have already mentioned the project in Apex was withdrawn. And they were talking about some problems with the infrasound. Vertigo, nausea, headaches, brain fog, fatigue, difficulty concentrating, sleep disturbances, heightened anxiety, and increased stress. It gets worse, but I couldn't pronounce some of the words attached to the disease they were talking about that affected people, even affecting their heart and respiratory systems. I'm asking the commissioners to not change the zoning. I would also suggest, I read an article somewhere that we were short thousands of homes in this area. Now, I found thousands a stretch, but if that whole area, you've got residential all around it. If you rezoned all of it residential and encourage people to put some subdivisions in, might better serve the community and find something else rather than a data center. Thank you.
Anybody got anything else to say? Oh, I'm sorry. You said you want to reserve your time at the end.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
And please respect each other's opinion. Please do that respectfully. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. I would agree. This is about long-term planning, and your plan is for this area to be industrial. That light industrial zoning district complies with the recommendations of your comprehensive plan as evaluated by your professional planning staff and your planning board. This will achieve the goals that you have set out for this area of the community. And this is the process for a general use rezoning request for you to consider all of the uses that are permitted in the district. If a zoning is approved, then you have a process to go through a zoning submittal and a building permit submittal where all of the plans will be evaluated against your ordinance requirements, state law, building code requirements, and the like. So we are moving through your process. We are compliant with your comprehensive plan. We are reasonable and in the public interest from the perspective of your long-term plan. And we, along with Ms. Galloway, the long-term landowner here, would ask for your support this evening. Thank you.
If there is no more discussion, public hearing is closed.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I've heard a lot of comments tonight, and I've heard a lot of things of negative and positive. And I am so proud of the people in this community standing up for what they think is right and standing up and speaking their mind. But you may take that back. But I want a lot of the things that have been said are not true. Because we don't have nothing. We heard nothing. And I want the public in my district to know what's going on. And I want them to understand that we are out to do the best we can for this community. I've sweated and worked my tail off for 19 years. And I'm about to end my period as a county commissioner. And Leo and I talked about this, and sometimes I'm kind of looking forward to it, ladies and gentlemen, as far as that's concerned. But I care about this community and I love it. But I want to get the facts. And I want to give everybody the opportunity. And so, in essence, what I'd like to do is make a motion to continue this, so more people can come and bring their ideas and information to it, and to make sure that we're making the right decision. I don't want to hurt this community, and I want to make sure everybody in that area gets what they need. And I'm not against any of it. And I can tell you right now, a lot of the stuff that you said are probably true. I've been to Apex. I've talked to the people in Apex. I've been to 2 other counties that have turned it down, and they all got their ideas, but I don't have all the facts. I want the facts. And I think one of the gentlemen that stood up here 2 times ago, and he said, I didn't know about it long enough. He said, I wanted more time. I want to give people more time. So I'm going to make that motion that we continue it as far as that's concerned. Is there a second?
I second.
And will you call for a vote?
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Can I have some discussion?
Yes.
And listen to what the people have come before tonight in terms of what they've said, in terms of needing more information. I think we need to look at the process of data centers in terms of community and everything. We need to go back and revisit that, because I don't see, based on what I'm hearing, I'm opposed to data center. I'll be honest with you. I realize in terms of getting more facts, but if I had to vote tonight, I'd vote against the data center. And I tell you, wait a minute, and I tell you why. Because what I've heard in terms of the noise and what it does to the environment, we talk about economic development, but my part of economic development, I think it can be done with rooftops in terms of trying to get people to come to the area rather than data center. The noise that I hear and what I hear that it's going to do to the environment is not good. I think about my grandchildren that are here. I think about their moving back and the kind of life and quality that I want for them. Data centers does not bring that quality of life to this community. And I also feel that if we look at it, why did Apex turn it down? Why did Apex turn it down? Go back and look at it. We need to go back, as someone stated, and look at data centers and what they have. And I would say no to a data center. I would say no to a data center. I live in a development off of development close to I-85. You talk about noise. I can't let my windows up at night or in the daytime because there's a noise. I can't sit in my house. I can't sit on my deck without hearing noise. So I've heard people say the noise and what you want. Now, having the little guy from the state spoke so eloquent on what it does and the requirements and everything. So that's my take. I don't have a problem going back and visiting, but I think we need to look at data centers. I think based on what they bring to the community, I don't think they bring what we're looking for in Vance County.
Tonight, we wasn't voting on a data center, correct? Tonight was for the rezoning.
But see, I don't think rezoning, there's a hidden agenda. There's a hidden agenda in terms of data. There's a hidden agenda. You approve the zoning. They can do whatever they damn, excuse me, y'all. They can do whatever they please once you give them permission. Huh? If they can, to me, if you look at it, they got 450 acres already. It's already zoned light industrial. Why? If come up with a plan if you want to. My thing is you're gonna turn it. I'm gonna vote against it anyway. So you got 450 acres. Why you need the 40 acres right now to do what you need to do?
And we got a motion and a second.
I'm sorry. That's my sermon, board members.
So we got a motion and a second to continue. Yes.
I will vote to continue, but I will say this.
They can't hear you.
They can't hear you.
I don't do this, but I'm gonna do it tonight. I
Thank
don't take
you.
my mask off. I don't take my mask off because I have health conditions, but I will do this tonight. I listen to the people because the people voted for me. I don't know what I've done a lot of research, and some of that stuff y'all said is really not right. But here's the thing, the people have spoken. And I need the people to know that I hear you. And I am going to vote no tonight and any other time that it comes and the people crowd up and they have their information. And I want the city to grow. I want the county to grow. But I have what I have. I have a heart for the people. And I also know that I'm sitting up here because the people voted for me. And that's why I'm here.
We already, like, said, we got a motion and second. Excuse me. And we, and like tonight, we did hear you. We. Because we're worried about our homes and our health and our children. We cannot continue this and continue this and continue this. But there was a motion on the floor for continue.
Not a difficult problem.
Well, but we do have a motion, sir. We hear you. We hear you.
I think we're losing control. We
Yes,
have a motion.
we have a
and second
motion
on
and
the
a
floor.
second. We're in discussion.
But
All
let me
in
ask
favor
one
of
thing, the motion
continue.
to say one more thing, that if we continue it, if we continue it, we're going to revisit and everything, it'll come back and
Yes.
everything.
Then we'll come back
And we additional input. So what I want to say to you guys is that if we continue it, we get the additional facts, use what we've gotten from you and everything, and hopefully you know where I stand. So if it comes back and everything, you know where it's going on my behalf.
We got a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it. We will continue. Thank you.
You're not wrong, and I understand, but I want to make sure you get the other people out.
Can you take a recess? We'll take a 5-minute recess. 5-minute recess. 5-minute recess. 5-minute recess. But like I said, we have a motion. I know, look, I love you.
Well, I'm telling you right now. And now I'm giving
Yeah, I ain't know. I'm sitting my notes. I'm running here so late. They nice. They are. Thank you.
I've been working with you down sincerely 25 years. Dedicated to
Yeah. It is. It is. It is. We don't even know if we live down the
That's right. Exactly Good to see you again, sir. How
you doing? All right. We're good. How you doing? Thank you.
Hey, Bob. I don't, but glad y'all good.
When everybody says they all home.
Hey,
I got it in the car. Like, oh, when I live, I said, oh my God. I didn't get it. I ain't lost track of that phone kept ringing. People kept ringing. Then I made something here. Yeah, it's Meeting back in, call the meeting back into order. I don't know. She gone.
Is she gone?
Yeah. And you still here, ain't this? I said, he's still here.
Wait a minute.
I'm gonna open the water district board. I just opened the water board.
Thank you. Yeah, tell them they need to sit down or get out.
That's right. Excuse us. Dewana, close the doors, please. I just opened the water district board, please.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Hey, Frankie, do the water board.
Uh-huh.
Well, the water people here. Just got monthly operations.
Mhm.
Anybody got questions?
So the first thing on the report is the monthly operations report. Do you all have any questions about the monthly operations report? Okay.
I did have just one question. I saw that in February, there were 7 tap requests or checks. Were all of those new taps or were they just tap requests?
I would just say Mr. Brumman tap request, because I'm not sure if that was.
Okay.
We can find out for you though, Commissioner Brumman.
It'd be good if we could get that broken down so we'd know kind of why we're, particularly while we're doing the new phase here.
Mhm.
If we add more taps.
When we're doing the new tax, so we're doing the new phase, HD Reynolds is doing one that's there. So we go on environment.
Okay, so this is just environment. So, okay, so we can get a report from H.G. Reynolds.
We don't, but, how many right now, do you know? I know we were like at 140.
Okay, that's fine, just so we can track it. Keep going. Okay, thank you.
Well, Madam Chair.
Yes.
We have 3 people from the engineering forum tonight too, and I wanted to make sure they got recognized because they're here, and I don't know whether they're here for something else too.
Yeah, they're here to present. Mhm.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, they're
That's
next
what I
up.
made sure.
So they're the phase 1.
Yes, ma'am.
So the next, do we have to change order?
Yeah, who's gonna do the change order?
LKC.
Get them up here.
Hey, good evening.
Good evening.
I'm Zach Bennett with LKC Engineering. We are the engineer over the Phase 1B water system expansion. Tonight, I have 2 items to present to you all related to that project. The first of which is a change order for the contract between Vance County and the contractor, H.G. Reynolds. It should be included in your packets, but I'll go through a quick summary of the scope adjustments and the price implications. Similar to our last change order, it is a combination of various changes that we've noticed throughout construction, whether it be additions of quantities of certain items that have been installed in excess of the original bid quantity. There were also 3 scope adjustments, starting with we had a waterline realignment at the intersection of Peter Gill Road and Bobbitt Road. The existing right-of-way there was fairly congested, would have been a difficult installation. So we received an easement and we are cutting across the property at the corner there. And within that new alignment, there are 3 oak trees and there's a stormwater ditch that's in disrepair. So as part of the realignment, we've asked the contractor to remove those trees and restore that ditch. So that's included in this change order. In addition to that realignment, we're doing some work at the Kittrell water tank. Contract 2 did a tank rehab and it's been closed out, but we're also going to add a replacement or installation of a new overflow and drain splash pad.
the existing drain line and overflow line is just old and disrepair. So we're putting the new splash pad to disperse that energy, so we're not eroding out the ditch line if the tank ever overflows or during a draining. And the final item that we have in this change order, it's a correction to our previous change order. We deducted a certain quantity of steel casing on our last change order, and an incorrect unit price was utilized. So this is a correcting change order, but we're actually deducting more than was deducted last time. So we're taking more money out of the contractor's contract, putting that back into the contingency that could be used elsewhere. But so overall, those items will add $23,056.45 to the contract with HG Reynolds. It's been discussed with the funding agencies, both USDA and DEQ. Tonight, I ask that you make a motion to accept this change order pending final approval from the funding agencies. And I'd like to add real quick that this is 100% grant, and it is within the budget of the project. So we're not taking any additional funds from the county. It's within the funding.
We have $278,000 left in budget, is that right?
Yes, our most recent projections, we have 257,000. And yeah, that's subject to change. We're getting really close to the end of the original scope. So as we hone in on that, you'll find that additional items might go over. But right now we're seeing that there are items that are underrunning the original bid quantities. So I would anticipate that the remaining funds will go up, and we can then put that towards additional infrastructure for the county.
Are we getting prices on some of those items that we've looked at?
Yeah, so currently our team, Logan Parsons and Alex Malden with LKC, we're looking at potential extensions, and we're currently pricing out those projects, I'll call them, with the existing unit pricing of the contractor's contract. So we'll present that to them if they can do it with their original pricing. That was, I think, a year and a half when they provided that price. So they will go back to their suppliers and see if they can do it for that same price. And if they have to do a price increase, they'll give us all of their supporting documentation, and we'll handle it that way. But yes, we are looking into those, and very shortly we should have some scopes together that we can get pricing.
Make a motion that we approve the change order number 3.
Second.
Got a motion and second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you.
Sorry, thank you. And I've one more item. The first item was a change to the contractor's contract. This will be a change to LKC's contract with the county, or Engineering Services Agreement Amendment number 2. Similar to change order number 3, this has a combination of items that add scope or move scope to our contract with the county. It's split into 3 different items. Item 1 being modification to our basic engineering services, which is things such as designing, surveying, permitting the water line extensions that are being put in the ground right now. Throughout construction, we've had assorted field modifications or changes to the Phase 1B scope, where we had to perform additional services in excess of what was included in our original contract, and also ESA Amendment number 1. These extensions are utilizing current contract quantities that are being reallocated from a development that recently pulled out of the Phase 1B expansion. So we're not adding any additional quantities to the contract with this change order. Yeah, so the basic engineering services modification includes additional water line along Grove Park Lane, Squirrel Hollow, and Friar Lane. And we've made contact with the developers within these areas. So we know that there are customers waiting and willing to hook on as soon as these lines are put in the ground. So that was a big driving factor in why we put additional resources to these water lines. The site piping modifications and the splash pad at the tank, that was included in the change order for the contractor. That required additional services as well. Item number 2 is removing an additional services item. The original contract included a geotechnical investigations report. We did not perform any geotechnical investigations. So we're removing that item from our ESA. That's going to remove $18,000 from our ESA. And the final item is an increase in resident project representative fees. That's just a USDA's fancy way of saying our on-site construction manager, Alex, has been on site for us, providing construction oversight for the past 6 to 8 months. But with this, our original contract hours have been exceeded due to a number of reasons outside of the county's hands. We expected the contracts for the water lines and the tank to run concurrently, but unfortunately, due to project timelines and pricing concerns on the first bid, that didn't happen. So we're having to double up on our drive time and on-site time. And additionally, contracts one duration was extended by 180 days. And change order number one, that was a big component in getting the contractor to hold their bid pricing for as long as they did. So our contract only included, I want to say 12 months. It's now 18 months of on-site work. So this ESA amendment accounts for that additional time that we're having to spend providing construction oversight. This item adds $54,000 to our RPR services. So items 1, 2, and 3 combined will add $68,000 to our ESA agreement with Vance County. Similar to change order number 3, it's been discussed with USDA and DEQ. It has preliminary approval, but we need your motion and acceptance to provide to DEQ and USDA for them to provide their final approval and concurrence.
So what are you asking? I'm trying to get, I can't hear very well, and I apologize.
Oh, sorry, I might not be speaking clearly. So we are asking for the board to make a motion to accept the ESA amendment number 2, which includes a cost increase for modifications to our basic engineering services, removal of additional services, and an increase in our resident project representative fees.
And the total of that is what?
The total of that is $68,000.
And you all have been working with us, and this project got delayed for a long time, didn't it?
Yes, sir, that's
And
correct.
you held everything. I mean, we really, y'all stood by us, and you sit there and delayed and delayed. I make a motion, we approve it.
Got a motion and second, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can you tell them one thing about the additional work we're thinking about doing with 257, that third on contingency, just so they know?
Yeah. So it's still preliminary scoping. We're currently looking at replacing the existing, is it 1-inch line that runs on Oak Ridge Church Road. Sorry, from Woodliff Road all the way back up to Main Street in Kittrell. I want to say that's approximately 4,600. Yeah, between 4,000 and 5,000 feet of water line that we're going to upsize from 1-inch to 6-inch if the pricing allows us, which will do wonders for water quality, water flow, and fire protection in that area.
Isn't there at the church, isn't there a larger line that goes back to Woodliff Road?
Yes. So our intention would be to run new 6-inch line from Kittrell all the way down south to where the Phase 1B system connected from Woodliff Road.
Was that line put in by the Kittrell Water Department?
Yeah, the 1-inch line was put in by Kittrell, and y'all inherited it as part of.
What?
The 1-inch line that Zach's referring to was installed and by Kittrell a long time ago. I don't know the exact time frame, but that was inherited by Vance County whenever you took over the Kittrell Water Association. There is a 6-inch line installed down Woodliff, and we went ahead and ran the 6-inch under Oak Ridge Road so that when this time come and you could extend the 6 and replace that 1, then you'd be better off. So it's already there. The 6 is gonna tie into this 1, but you still have 4,000 feet of 1-inch in the ground that can give you trouble and technically doesn't meet state regulations anymore. So
6 homes on 1-inch line.
Was it
in the church?
Was it copper or galvanized?
It's poly. It's like a well pipe.
Oh, it's that old.
Yeah, it's like it's not something you would typically use for a public water main.
And it looks like we have a leak on that line at this time. The Burlington line.
So we had a leak on it when we bored 4 years ago.
We just come up with the idea that we can do it within our money. We think it'd be well off if we can do that.
Yeah. So as Zach mentioned, we're looking at your so you have 257 in current contingencies after these two items tonight. And then we're looking at your other project funds like ROC, right? ROC's one that, we've allocated money for in your budget. You've used some, but there's quite a bit left over. So you may have some ROC money left over. There may be some other quantities that are underutilized, which we can then, we're close to the end of the project now, but really close to being able to present these items back to you of projected underruns and then utilize that money elsewhere.
It's an action, right? Gotta take action on it. You got to. Oh, that's discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you.
Thank you.
How long is it?
Doing the resolution bond.
Mhm.
Second.
Okay.
Good evening, Commissioners. So you have received a resolution authorizing the issuance of a $1,672,000 water system revenue bond, Series 2026, Phase 1B for the Vance County Water District. This item represents the conversion of an existing bond anticipation note issued in 2024 into permanent financing. The original note was used to fund Phase 1B water system improvements and is scheduled to mature in September 2026. This is not a new debt. It is a planned transition from short-term to long-term financing consistent with the board's prior authorization under the 2018 bond order. The bond is secured solely by water system revenues and does not pledge the county's taxing authority. So the staff recommends approval of the resolution so that we can proceed with retiring the existing note.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Got a motion and second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you,
So
Steph.
this has already been approved by LGC?
Yes, yeah.
Thank you, Stephanie.
Next on the agenda is the County Manager March work session report.
Thank you. So the first thing on my report is the solid waste fee waiver policy. So historically, prior budget ordinance language allowed for limited exemptions under specific conditions for the solid waste household user fee. However, that language has not been in effect for several years and was formally removed due to the absence of an adopted policy and administrative framework to support consistent implementation. The Vance County Board of Commissioners discussed this matter during the March 17, 2026 work session and reached a consensus not to reinstate the prior exemption provisions. As a result, the solid waste household user fee remains applicable to all qualifying properties and no waivers are currently authorized. And so this is just for your information. The next item is the artificial intelligence policy. IT Director Randall Medlin presented a proposed artificial intelligence or AI policy to the Board of County Commissioners, emphasizing the need for the policy to address data security, confidentiality, and appropriate use while ensuring consistent practices across departments. He also reviewed the scope of the proposed policy. The recommendation is to approve the AI policy effective April 6, 2026.
Need a motion? What's the pleasure?
I'm sorry, I couldn't understand.
Someone need a recommendation?
Move for approval of the AI policy effective April 6th.
You got a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you.
So the next item is the Board of Equalization and Review. The Board of County Commissioners reached consensus to move forward with establishing a separate Board of E&R in advance of the 2030 property revaluation in accordance with General Statute 105-322. This action will allow the county to better manage the volume and complexity of property valuation appeals while maintaining a clear separation between the board's policymaking role and the quasi-judicial responsibilities. Establishing a separate board of ENR is expected to improve efficiency, promote fairness and transparency in the appeals process, and reduce the administrative burden on the board during the revaluation cycle. Staff will return to the board before July 1st, 2026, with a proposed resolution, recommendations for member qualifications, and a plan for public recruitment to ensure appropriate representation and readiness ahead of the 2030 revaluation. And so that's just for your information. The next item, the last item on my work session report is the health insurance item again. So for more than 25 years, Vance County has provided employee-only health insurance at no cost to employees. However, rising healthcare costs have made this benefit increasingly unsustainable. During the current fiscal year, the county experienced a $1.2 million increase, or equal to 3 pennies, in health insurance expenses, with an additional 5% increase projected for 26-27, bringing the total anticipated cost to approximately $4.2 million for health insurance only. The county currently pays about $13,000 per employee annually under its self-funded plan. Staff conducted an employee survey and presented comparative data from other counties and municipalities to inform this recommendation. While some Tier 1 counties may continue to offer no-cost health insurance, staff does not have access to their internal utilization rates, expenditures, or overall financial structures to determine how these offerings compare to Vance County's actual costs and fiscal capacity. To help offset the rising costs, staff is recommending the implementation of a $50 per month employee pre-tax premium for employee-only coverage. This amount would be paid by employees on a pre-tax basis, reducing their taxable income, and is estimated to generate approximately $225,000 annually. While this will not fully offset the increase, it will help reduce pressure on the general fund and allow the county to continue addressing compensation and operational needs. To balance this change and remain competitive in recruitment and retention, staff is also proposing enhancements to the overall compensation package, including a 3% COLA effective July 1st, 2026, performance-based pay, birthday leave, and vacation accrual adjustments based on credible service to the retirement system. Additionally, staff recommends that the $50 monthly premium not apply to current retirees as they retired with the expectation of no-cost health coverage. However, the premium would apply to eligible employees retiring on or after July 1st, 2026. Staff will update the personnel policy accordingly to reflect these changes. The recommendation is to approve the implementation of a $50 monthly employee insurance premium effective July 1st, 2026, and direct staff to update the premium structure accordingly. The premium shall not apply to current retirees. However, it will apply to eligible employees retiring on or after July 1st of 2026. Staff will revise the personnel policy to reflect these changes and bring the policy back to the commissioners for approval along with other changes in the future.
Do we have a broker?
Yeah, Mark 3.
Who?
Mark 3. They came to present to you all last year. I believe it was March last year.
Mark 3?
Mark 3 benefit.
Do you need a motion for that?
Yes,
I do.
I'm making a motion to approve it.
we got a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Yes, I'm totally opposed to that. I appreciate the fact that you went in and are going to take care of the people with July 26th. I'd really like to see the resolution that we have from 2011 when we changed the policy, and then previous to that when the policy was originally created, to make sure that we're in compliance with those resolutions. This is not right on our employees, and I don't agree with it.
So we have a motion.
So do we have a motion?
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
They want to.
All opposed? You don't want to oppose?
She had a question. She was.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought she was talking to you.
Well, she had a question.
Oh, okay. I didn't know she was.
She
I didn't hear
asked
her.
about the motion. She asked what the motion was about. The motion was to approve a $50 fee to everybody. So
go back. So, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
No.
You got 4 ayes have it. 4 and 2.
I'll oppose.
I know 2. 4 and 2.
I think that's all for my.
So next,
So, can I ask a question to the county manager?
yes.
So, has the county thought about, in the previous years, thought about going to bi-weekly
Instead of monthly.
instead of monthly?
So Stephanie and I have had conversations about it, and we're actually getting ready to implement actual timekeeping system. Remember we talked about that at your retreat? We need a timekeeping system. So we're planning to move forward with Chronos. We're getting ready to go through that process, but we can discuss biweekly payroll and what that transition will look like, because a lot of other counties do biweekly pay and not monthly pay. She asked, could we transition to biweekly pay?
Bi-weekly every twice.
Instead of monthly. Yeah, we can do some research and bring that back to you all. Yeah, but we have thought about it.
And then how much does the county contribute into the HSA, the health savings account for employees?
So employees get an additional $1,500 that on an HSA plan. Okay, $1,500 a year additional.
Is the $50 fee eligible? Can you use the HSA to pay for that?
No, sir.
No?
$50 what?
Payroll deductible.
The $50, correct. And HSA is a card that you use. What was the question?
What if you don't have payroll? You don't apply to them, do you?
No, it doesn't apply to retirees.
Have a
That's
draft
correct.
in the-
Not unless you retire July 1st or after.
I have a draft
Correct.
in the checking account.
Again, that's.
Yeah.
The 3% COLA doesn't help retirees. None of that stuff. Y'all have already voted, y'all made your decision, so live with it.
Assistant County Manager report.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening, Commissioners. Public Safety Telecommunicators Week proclamation. National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week is an annual event held during the second week of April to honor public safety telecommunicators for their dedication and service. The week is a time to celebrate and thank those who dedicate their lives to serving the public. The recommendation is to approve the proclamation recognizing April 12 through 18, 2026 as Public Safety Telecommunicators Week in Vance County.
I make a motion to approve the proclamation.
Got a motion?
I'll second it.
Got a motion and second. Any discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you.
Animal Control Officer Appreciation Week. National Animal Control Officer Appreciation Week is celebrated every second full week of April. The week is a time to recognize and honor the hard work and dedication of animal control officers who protect animals and serve their communities. The recommendation is to approve the proclamation recognizing April 12 through 18, 2026 as National Animal Control Officer Appreciation Week in Vance County.
I make a motion that we approve the proclamation recognizing April 12th through the 18th, 2026 as National Animal Control Officer Appreciation Week.
Second.
Got a motion and second. Any discussion?
I got one. Can I say one
Yes.
thing?
Yes, go ahead.
I'm so pleased with our animal control. And I'm back when 2002 versus where we had 800 square feet and had a problem day in, day out, month in, month out, year in, year out. And the quality of service we got right now, I can tell you it's night and day. And we're so fortunate to have what we got at the animal control. Even though Frank is gone, excuse me, but but it is great and they do an outstanding job.
Thank you so
I
much.
just wanted to say that because I've had some dealings with them lately.
Thank you.
You have a motion, second.
All in favor? All opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you.
The last item I have is the Assistant Medical Director contract renewal, actually implementation. Vance County EMS proposes in addition to add an Assistant Medical Director contract for Dr. Daniel Kowalski in the amount of $1,500 with a 2-year automatic renewal. Dr. Kowalski will assist Dr. Benson in providing medical oversight and guidance to EMS operations, ensure compliance with clinical standards, supporting high-quality patient care, and maintaining a strong presence in the field as a direct resource to personnel. The consideration for this contract supports operational continuity and maintains appropriate medical leadership and oversight for the department. The recommendation is to approve the Assistant Medical Director's $1,500 contract with a 2-year automatic renewal.
Mr. Jones, before we approve this, wouldn't it be appropriate
to actually back that contract down, since this doctor's taken over 2 months to mess with us and get back to us and still's asking for additional changes. I believe it's $300 a month. So probably the appropriate thing would be to approve a contract for the assistant medical director, not state an actual amount, because this was first drawn up and prepared and anticipated to be done back in February. So we're 2 months past that now. And we still got to make some additional changes because he's still asked for some more stuff this morning. So I would just say, let's, if you're going to approve it, let's not put a dollar amount in there.
Do we want to table it until we get the other stuff?
No, because I'd like, the whole idea with getting this in place is succession planning. So it benefits us to get him on board sooner rather than later. And so if you can approve it, if you're going to approve it, please approve it, subject to my final review. We can get those final tweaks, get him signed up, and go ahead and get this implemented.
Current medical director considering
He's right here.
moving?
Is this assistant?
This is the actual medical director, Dr. Richard Benson.
This is Dr. Benson.
Oh, okay.
Hello,
Hello.
can y'all hear me?
Yes,
It's been a
sir.
long night. I'll just talk. First off, thank you for having me. I've worked in Vance County for the last 10 years, and it's been great. I've been a part of EMS for that same amount of time, and served as the EMS medical director. I'm sorry.
Move your mic up.
Yeah. Sorry, nighttime. I get tired. What we're attempting to do, though, is really to develop the EMS system here in Vance County as a premier EMS system. Part of that is ensuring that there's adequate support. As of right now, I have no plans of leaving Vance County. However, I think it is important to take an opportunity to have an EMS trained physician. And let me explain what that is. To become an emergency medicine physician, it takes 4 years of undergrad training, 4 years of medical school, 3 to 4 years of a residency, and then an additional year to be an actual EMS fellow to practice EMS medicine. This candidate is completing his EMS fellowship at UNC Chapel Hill this June, which is the same program that I graduated from as well. And he has interest of staying here in North Carolina, specifically in Vance County. So I think that's an amazing opportunity. Ultimately, I do want to grow his leadership as an EMS medical director. That might be replacing me one day. That might be going off to another county in North Carolina to practice EMS medicine. But I want to develop him early on. And so that's really what we're attempting to do. In terms of the actual stipend requests, I kind of agree that I think the number is not what's most important, but it's really approving that position so that we can develop this physician.
We still get a motion without a dollar sign, it's a amount.
What, Keith, have you got are we
They
looking
need
at
a motion to, without the amount.
without the amount? I'll make that motion without the amount. How about that? Is that easy enough for me to say?
So what's the amount? I mean, is that?
Jonathan.
Yeah,
going-
1,500.
The amount's going to be $300 a month.
But he just said without the amount.
Thank you.
We got a motion and second. Any discussion?
Yeah, when we don't have enough money to pay our employees' insurance, and we're gonna create a new position. I can't support that.
That's only how much money? 15?
It's $300 a month.
$1,500 a year.
What?
$1,500 a year.
$300 a month is more, that 300.
But this contract ends on June 30 and it'll renew on July
And so in
1st.
the next year, it'll be $3,600.
Yeah, that's correct.
We have a motion and
You
second,
second,
right?
all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Nay.
Ayes have it.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you, Dr. Benson.
Appreciate the
Because now,
support.
Are you the doctor that worked in the emergency room?
I'm sorry?
Are you the doctor that worked in the emergency room?
That's me.
You the one, remember I had the skull fracture, you went.
Yeah. Oh, are
I
you
was bleeding
serious?
From the head, I'm the guy.
Oh, is that right?
I've been wondering what was wrong with him.
Yeah.
That was last year. Remember I came in the emergency room?
Well, I'm glad you're doing well.
I'm
I
good.
stopped at the gas station on the
Did the
way
CAT
up.
scan and all like that, said I was fine in the head.
Okay. I was gonna say I stopped at the gas station on the way up, and 3 people stopped me and said, "Oh, you're Dr. So and so. You saw me at some point." So
Okay.
I've been around, but thank you.
It was last March, 26th.
Yeah.
Oh, never forget it.
Thank you. I just had a niece that went about 2 weeks ago. The little girl that came in with a seizure. I was there.
Oh yeah. Now that I clearly remember.
Yes, it was just
Yeah.
2 weeks ago, and she's doing well.
Oh wow.
I just want you to know, thank you.
Oh, that's awesome.
They talk highly of you.
Yeah, I
Thank
really
you so
appreciate
much.
that. Yeah. Appreciate you all.
Thank you, appreciate you.
Next is finance
Oh,
director
Stephanie,
report.
Miss Employee of the Month. Congratulations again, Stephanie.
What's his name? What's his Kukaski?
This is Dr. Benson.
What?
Dr. Benson.
Okay, Dr. Vince, okay.
Good evening again.
Good evening.
The county issued a make sure I'm get this right one. The county issued a request for proposal to invite qualified individual auditors having sufficient governmental accounting and auditing experience in performing an audit in accordance with GAS, GAS, Governmental Accounting Standards 2024 revisions, and Government Accounting Standard Board's pronouncements, and all other federal, state, and local laws or regulation and compliance requirements. The RFP was publicly advertised on the Vance County website and through the NC Finance Connect community listserv. We received 3 proposals and 5 responses that either stated they no longer audit counties, have too many commitments, or do not have a staffing capacity to serve at this time. The 3 proposals were one from was Thompson, Price, Scott and Adams, R&H CPAs, and Belinda Johnson CPA. An evaluation committee reviewed each proposal individually using a standardized scoring matrix with the maximum of 100 points. The criteria included governmental experience and qualifications, audit approach and compliance, staffing, independent single audit experience, past performance, and cost proposal. The final results of these after independent review was to recommend Thompson, Price, Scott, and Adams to be the auditor that will audit our upcoming books. So, the recommendation that staff recommends that the Board of County Commissioners award the audit service contract to TPSA as the most responsive and responsible proposer, providing the best overall value to the county. Staff further requests authorizations for the county manager to execute the necessary contract documents.
So we need a motion.
All right, you got it. I'll do it.
Got a motion?
You gonna second it?
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Yes, ma'am. I believe the audit committee charter says that the audit committee is supposed to review these proposals and make a recommendation to them. Foregoing that is inconsistent with policy. Furthermore, audit firms generally work on a 3 to 5 year period. I believe TPSA has been doing this for 7 or 8 years now. Is that correct?
I think maybe since like 2016, I think.
For a long time.
Yeah.
And that is a red flag in the audit world. And so we need to have some more discussion about that.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
we have a motion and second, and I think we need to move forward with it. They went out and got 3 bids, came back with the bid. The people are professionals, so they do a good job. And our county manager, how do you feel?
I recommend that we move forward with approval with TPSA.
So we have a motion second on the floor.
All right. You had a discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
No.
Ayes have it.
Okay, the next is the updated bank depository. So pursuant to North Carolina General Statute 159-31, the Board of Commissioners is required to designate one or more official depositories for the deposit of public funds. So I think a couple months ago, I brought forth, and every time there's a change, it has to be brought back to the Board of County Commissioners for approval. So the depositories that initially were presented prior to was Truist Bank, First National Bank, PNC, JP Chase Morgan. So this resolution still has Truist Bank, First National Bank, PNC Bank, JP Chase Morgan Bank, and it's to add Benchmark Community Bank. So this,
You want a motion to approve add Benchmark, is that what I'm hearing? I'll make that motion.
Yes.
Add Benchmark as a community bank, and it helps this community.
Second.
We got a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you.
okay, thank you.
Next is our county manager report.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. So the first thing on my report is just the County Government Month proclamation. National County Government Month, held each April, is an annual celebration of county government. It is an excellent opportunity to recognize the hard work and dedication of county employees. And so the recommendation is to approve the proclamation recognizing April 2026 as County Government Month here in Vance County.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you.
Next thing is Spring Litter Sweep Proclamation. In the spring and fall of each year, the North Carolina Department of Transportation sponsors cleanup campaigns to beautify the roadsides of the state. This year, DOT is sponsoring its Spring Litter Sweep campaign on April 11th through the 25th of 2026. The recommendation is to approve the proclamation designating April 11th through the 25th, 2026 as Spring Litter Sweep in Vance County.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you.
The last thing on my report is the Line Worker Appreciation Day proclamation. National Lineman Appreciation Day is celebrated annually on April 18th. This day honors the hard work, innovation, and dedication of America's electrical line workers who work in often dangerous conditions to keep the power flowing. Recommendation is to approve the proclamation recognizing April 18th, 2026 as Line Worker Appreciation Day in Vance County.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I want to pull budget amendment 29 and budget amendment 30 for explanation, please.
So budget amendment 29 was for additional funds. When the budget was done last year, because there were so many vacancies with DSS, we only budgeted them, I think it was like 75%. So they have since have done quite a lot of hiring. So now they are in need of those additional funds to fund those positions for the salaries, the FICA, and also the group insurance and the retirement. The SHIP grant revenue and IVD incentive, they have collected additional revenue than what was budgeted. So that is so that they're able to spend those funds, to budget those revenue against the expenses, so they'll be able to spend those. What was the other one? 30?
Yeah.
30?
That's the bond. No, look, wait a minute. No,
Okay, it was 29.
no, it's not 30. Wait a minute. No, it's 33, I'm sorry.
33?
Yeah, that's the transfer of the funds for the water.
Yes. Yeah, that's what that's for.
Be clear on that. It says least purpose principal, is that?
So it's two different levels. There's a principal level, there's an interest level. So that we're paying. So when we so that is to budget those. I think right now we owe some additional principal but we have the funds in for that because we initially budgeted the 63 that we would have had to pay for citizens. But since the LGC state treasurer told us to go ahead, they're gonna transfer this bond, that is only equating to I think it's coming to like $42,000. The 1,672,000, because then we're having to, all of these funds have to be in its own fund. So all the projects we're having, it has to be in its own fund. So that is to create that Fund 13, make sure those funds in there. I don't think right now they're asking us to pay that 1672. But just in case if we do have to, I wanted it to be budgeted. But right now they're asking us in that resolution to pay that, I think it's about $42,000. But it has to be budgeted in the 13 for the water project, the 1.6, because that's what that's moving to.
Okay. So we're doing a $1.672 million budget amendment to pay a $42,000.
So no, that's in the interest. So this principle, so one of the things that came up was like a lot of our projects were budgeted in Fund 10. So one of the things that came up with the auditors, that all of those have to have its own separate project. So that's where, 13 was the one that was available. So that's where we are having to budget all of that in Fund 13
The Fund 13 is the capital fund for the water project.
for the water project. Yes,
The one current, okay.
yes.
All right, thank you. That's fine.
Okay.
So did we get a
Yeah,
second, got a motion and a second?
yeah, got it.
All in favor? All opposed? Ayes have it.
Okay, thank you. I was just.
Next, miscellaneous.
Good evening. For the, get to it. For the ABC Board, the applications was previously submitted to you through email and is for your choosing of whom you would like to choose according to.
I'm sorry, I'm.
Oh, you can.
Reappoint, Sean Austin to the ABC board. Second.
How many applications we got?
The applications that was sent to you, it was, you want me to read all the names out?
And it was 4 people, wasn't it?
No, sir, it was actually 6 or 7. The first name was Ralph Thomas Nevels. The second name was Melissa Carway Lemon. The third name was Brandon Link. The fourth name was Darlene Oxidine. The next name was Pamela Hester. Then we had Betty Boyd. Then we had Sean Austin Sr. And then we had Mr. Brummett, Ronald Robert Daniel Brummett.
Did you?
So how many did we have total?
7, huh?
7.
So
It's 7.
we got a
Yes, sir.
motion.
So
She made a motion.
I want to make a motion.
We already got one. We got a motion and a second for Sean Austin. All in favor? No. In discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All
Make a
opposed?
motion.
All opposed?
Aye.
I was on.
Oh, yeah, you was aye. Oh, okay, so we got 4, Sean. 1, 2,
4-2.
he's Sean.
Oh, you are for Sean?
Yeah,
Oh, I thought he said, okay. So 4-2.
4, 2. All right, so next.
And the next one is the Vance Scramble Board of Trustees. We're looking to reappoint Mr. Danny Wright.
Move to reappoint Danny Wright.
Second.
Got a motion and second in discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it. Get a motion to go in closed session
For
for a property matter.
property matter, move to go.
Got a motion and second to go into closed session.